All right, good evening, folks, and welcome inside the Amarillo Civic Center for some Friday night hockey between your Wichita Falls Wildcats and the Amarillo Bulls. My name is Alex Von Coydel, and I'm thrilled to have you with us. The last time the Cats were in this building was way back on October 28th and 29th when the Red and Black would earn their first sweep of the season. Both of those games would end in an identical 5-4 final score, and both would be decided by a goal scored in sudden death overtime. Such has been the story of the season series between these two rivals. Though the Cats have taken 5 of 6 and have won the last 5 in a row against the Bulls, every single one of those games was decided by just a single goal. The Bulls can be a very dangerous team, especially when they get their big guns rolling. The biggest of those guns is their veteran center and alternate captain, George Mika. He leads the entire NAHL at the moment with 50 points in 41 games this season and has scored 5 goals against the Cats already. Coach Nelson made it very clear earlier today he intends to match his best defensive players against Mika and his line, doing their best to shut them down, and the Wildcats will be keeping a very vigilant eye on Mika all evening long. As for the Wildcats, some exciting news. HC Dallas goaltender George McBay will be making his Wildcats debut tonight. He's been practicing with the team for the last couple of weeks and has served as an emergency backup goaltender for the Wildcats numerous times previously this season. He has more than earned the right to play tonight. He has paid his dues and then some, and we'll see what the Dallas native can do in game mode for the first time this season. Evan Moyes will be his backup goaltender as we await the return of Jared Dempsey. By the way, his expected return is next weekend against Shreveport. That may or may not come to fruition. We'll see, but Demps says he's feeling good and just about ready to come back, so we're excited for that. But in the meantime, we'll see what this young goaltender out of Dallas, George McBay, can do for the Wildcats, an affiliate player, making his Wildcats debut as a starting goaltender here tonight. We're going to step aside real quick, folks. When we come back, we'll break down these teams' starting lineups and get ready for puck drop at the bullpen. Wildcats, Bulls, it's first responders night here in Amarillo. We might experience a brief delay before the scheduled 7:05 p.m. Central Time puck drop, but shouldn't be too long. We'll be back in a few, folks. So the infamous mascot the Amarillo Bulls boast, named Rampage, the Red Bull, skates out onto the ice to excite pretty decent crowd we've got here on hand on this rockin' Friday night in West Texas. Wildcats, Bulls just moments away. Rampage getting these folks fired up here. The Amarillo Bulls starting lineup, we'll start with them. Their goaltender, who, by the way, has just been named today to be one of the goaltenders to represent the South Division at the Top Prospects Tournament at the end of the month. Nikita Babintsev will be starting tonight for the Amarillo Bulls. He has won 11 of the 31 games he has played in with a 9.11 save percentage, a 3.20 goals against average. He and Amarillo's other goaltender, Brandon Bussi, are within spitting distance of their statistics, their goals against and save percentage at least. The non-starters hitting the ice right now for Amarillo, skating through the mist that separates the tunnel and their bench. Brendan Mikhailian will start on left defense for the Amarillo Bulls. There you see him on your screen on Hockey TV right now. He will be flanked on his right. by Brendan Walcom. Apologies, Brendan Walcom will be playing forward. Marcus Chorney, a bit out of order here. Marcus Chorney making his Amarillo Bulls debut tonight. Will be alongside Brendan McCauley to start. Colin Price, number 9, will be on the left wing, flanking Eric Cooley, who will be centering Amarillo's starting line. Eric Cooley, the undersized grinder. He knows how to battle. He scored a goal against the Wildcats this season. And as we mentioned, Nikita Bamintsev, the Russian netminder, to start between the pipes for Matt Nicholson and the Amarillo Bulls. The Wildcats starting lineup is brought to you by Pelican's Restaurant. As we mentioned, George McBay making his Wildcats debut tonight. A few players making their debuts for their respective teams starting tonight for their respective teams, so that's got to be exciting. A lot of jitters, I imagine, on the ice at the moment. On defense will be a couple of veterans, however, Seamus Donahue and Jonathan Waring, both of whom are veterans of junior hockey. Up front, it will be another veteran, Nick Rosa, centering the line of Kevin Fees and C.J. Walker. The ceremonial puck drop to take place at center ice here on First Responders Night in Amarillo. Matt Nels, the Bulls captain, met by Seamus Donahue, the Wildcats co-captain, the two of whom take part in the face-off, the ceremonial face-off, shake one another's hands, and that will be one of few friendly gestures I can imagine that will be taking place in tonight's game. This is the longest stretch of time the Wildcats have gone without playing a rival this season. They went quite a while without playing Shreveport, 3 months or so, up until a few weeks ago, but they have not played Amarillo since October. It's been a while since these teams have faced off, but don't think that will dampen the hostilities. Stand by as we await the performing of our country's national anthem, which looks like will be prefaced by bagpipes. So this is something I wasn't expecting. Some folks dressed like Scotsmen down there wearing kilts and playing the bagpipes.
Ladies and gentlemen, the first responders dropping the puck tonight are Amarillo Police Chief Ed Drain, the Amarillo Airport Police Chief Greg Daniel, Lieutenant Beth Watson with the Department of Public Safety, Potter County Sheriff Brian Thomas, Amarillo Fire Chief.
So more ceremonial puck drops to take place for the Wildcats captain and the Bulls captain. The Amarillo Chief of Police over there dropping the puck, and several other members who are being honored tonight on First Responders Night. Now they're being given a how about that? Heartfelt eulogy from the public address announcer here for the first responders. So bravely protect each and every one of us. Of Lee Greenwood's God Bless the USA. The last of the ceremonial puck drops have taken place, and now the performing of our country's national anthem. job well done. Everyone in this building is fired up, folks. Wildcats, Bulls, two teams with in a very different position in the standings. One team hoping to hold what it's got and secure second place and go into the postseason with what some might describe as being a home ice disadvantage with the way things have gone. The other trying desperately to fight its way into a playoff spot. The fourth and final playoff position remaining in the South Division will be very highly coveted, as it always is. Arguably the toughest division in the NAHL. Last season came down to the very last game. Game number 60 of 60 for both the Corpus Christi Ice Rays and the Odessa Jackalopes before the number 4 seed was decided. Something tells me it might go all the way to the end again this time around. The Amarillo Bulls would like very much to be considered among the running for that position. As of right now, they've got some work to do. Right now, Amarillo with a lot of games played in 41, which is more than almost every other team in the South Division. They've got 34 points, which puts them at 7 points behind Corpus Christi for fourth place. Not only that, but the Ice Rays have 2 games in hand. So we mentioned it on the pre-series report. Amarillo pretty much has to go on a tear starting now. They can't mess around anymore. Just about every one of these games for them, folks, is a must-win. And George Mika is going to try to lead them there and do all he can. He's done quite a bit. He's got double the point production of any other player on this Bulls roster with 50 points. The next highest has 25. So he's going to need some help to not only make the postseason, but to actually attempt a run. Teams need depth. That's been proven time and time again in the sport of hockey, more so than any other sport, I would say. Teams need depth to thrive. The opening face-off about to take place at center ice. Eric Cooley versus Nick Rosa, recently named co-captain of the Wildcats. Tonight's referee is J.R. Strager. The Lions even get his first save. Now all 5 Wildcats are having a discussion, well 4 of them on the ice right now, having a discussion with the 2 linesmen, and all of the Bulls having a discussion with J.R. Strager. There might be some sort of confusion with the stir. Thanks for joining. Having a great Friday. So the puck came up and hit Chorney in the face mask. Now Rosa battles for it in the far corner. Brendan Walcombe had it go off his skate. Kevin Fees guns it down in the high slot. Cooley jabs it away from him. Nice stick lift by Rosa, who fires, and it's absorbed by Nikita Babintsev, who's got his first save. And we didn't mention this kid in the pregame show, folks. For those of you Wildcats fans whose name this sounds familiar, Jovan Zimmerman is sporting the Amarillo Bulls jersey. He's on the ice right now. If you're watching on Hockey TV, he is, I believe he's on your right side, all the way over on your right. Would be the opposite of me, so he'd be on your right. Jovan Zimmerman sporting the number 6, a former Wildcat. Played in a game against the Lone Star Brahmas on December 19th of 2015 for the Wildcats. 2 seasons, or last season I should say. And earlier this season he was at the Wildcats training camp. Was a question mark to make the Wildcats roster, fell just shy. Spent some time with the New Jersey Titans 18U team. Played pretty well. Was very productive while he was there. Spent a brief stint in Janesville with the Janesville Jets. And I believe he said the Minnesota Magicians as well. Opportunities to play in the NAHL elsewhere, just nothing panned out for him. Found himself a new home in Amarillo, and some of his friends who, Jovan Zimmerman, if you haven't met him, polite young man. He went and shook hands with everyone, before this game, all the Wildcats players, and caught up with him a little bit. Orgel will rip a wrist shot that gets blocked. Truscott tries to clear the zone. Aided by Ipri, they do, but it goes the length. Icing to be called against Amarillo as George McBay puts his glove hand in the air to signify the icing against the home team. But it's pretty exciting having a former Wildcat in Jovan Zimmerman playing against the Cats right now. I don't think we've had that happen since Hogan Davidson, one of the most hated players by Wildcats fans over the last few years. Close second being Connor Wood, I'd say. Long right point shot deflected. They score. The Wildcats have gotten on the board very early. That's Isaac Cabinia, I believe, tapping home the rebound. And just a minute and 13 seconds in, that is Isaac Cabinia with the goal. The Cats have taken a 1-0 lead. Back-to-back icings against the Amarillo Bulls coming back to haunt them. Long point shot was taken that got deflected. Isaac Cabinia was right there to jam home the rebound. And the Wilmar, Minnesota native has just tallied his third goal of the season, his first in months. And that's a big one for Isaac Cabinia. And a well-deserved one. So Roman Canal, Ryan Orgel giving the assist. Here's a shot off the mask of George McBay. Not sure that's how he expected to make his first save as a Wildcat, but he fought it off with the mask. George Mika comes up ice with it right down the middle with a wrist shot off the blocker of McBay. He does not see it. It's loose and it's in the net. The red light is on. Not sure if this will count as a goal. George McBay made it the blocker save on the most dangerous guy on the ice, George Mika, who's given way too much room right down Main Street. Ripped a wrist shot, went off the blocker of George McBay. It fluttered high in the air, and the Wildcats goaltender had no clue where it was. It was just flying high above him, and it landed in the blue paint somewhere, and I think the goal judge was an eager beaver there, eager to jump the gun. I'm not sure that's in the back of the net. And J.R. Strager might have some work to do figuring out the verdict on this. We're going to take a quick break, and then we'll have your decision. That goal scored by Isaac Cabinia to open the scoring in this game was his first since October 1st, which, if I'm not mistaken, was an empty net goal. So that had to feel great for Isaac Cabinia. He's been such a workhorse for the Wildcats, so strong in all three zones. And that groan you're hearing from the Amarillo faithful is a result of the no-goal call, as deemed by J.R. Strager. And I think the goal judge must have admitted he jumped the gun on turning that red light on. It looked like he anticipated that it was going to enter the net. It fluttered in the air, and the way it was landing looked like it was probably going to take a bounce over the goal line and in, but there's no conclusive evidence to determine that's what happened. And J.R. Strager's initial call was no goal, so without conclusive evidence, it's not going to be overturned. So the Cats remain up 1-0, courtesy of an Isaac game. George McBay has it behind his own net. He will roll it around. Mika's shot gets blocked, and now Waring picks it up behind his own goal line. George Mika lobs one out diagonally out to the neutral zone. Blake Crowder going D-to-D with that pass. Lucier replacing his man on the Bulls bench. The Cats with a fresh five on the ice now, changing on the fly. Puck is deflected past Kareem Del Ponte and Wyatt Matthews, the latter of whom gets the pass from George McBay. And now Skvortsov will try to one-hand it further, picked off by Lucier, who gave it away to Matthews. Ilya Skvortsov kicks it up to his stick and gains the blue line and rifles a shot just wide of the right post. That had some mustard on it, did that shot from Skvortsov. And Del Ponte punching it behind the goal line. Hanawal puts it in front. Skvortsov shot denied by his countryman Nikita Babintsev, doing some good leather flashing with the glove. Ilya Skvortsov with 2 howitzers of wrist shots. The first of which went wide, the second of which was denied by Nikita Babintsev. Kareem Del Ponte. Here comes Skvortsov again. He's got a 3-on-2, but the pass too far into the path of Matt Hanawal, who pursues it. He's sandwiched between a couple of Bulls, manages to work it out to the right point. Orgel goes D to D. Roman Canal with some room with a shot, missing blocker side of Babintsev. Orgel fakes a slap shot, loses the puck. Will this be a penalty against Orgel? It will not be. Could have been called. Orgel potentially getting away with probably what could have been called an interference penalty. And now here comes Amarillo from the red line. It's flown into the glove of George McBay, who will hang on and take a defensive zone face-off. 16:21, the amount of time remaining in period 1. Shots are deadlocked at 3 apiece. McBay 3 for 3 in his Wildcats debut. Nikita Babintsev 2 for 3, one of which was a dandy against his fellow Russian, Ilya Skvortsov. Nick Rosa squares off against Eric Cooley. Kind of expected that Nick Rosa and his line would be tasked with shutting down Mika's line tonight, but with Matt Nicholson, Tony Adenucci, and Austin Sutter, the Amarillo Bulls coaches, they've got the home ice advantage. They get to decide who's put on the ice last. They can see who Coach Nelson puts out there and then decide who they want to send out there, so it's basically going to be up to them. And there's not much Coach Nelson can do about the matchups being the road team. He can do his best to catch Nicholson off guard, but that's about all he can do. Fees from the red line, backhands one into Bulls territory. Matt Nels, the Amarillo captain, couldn't get it past Walker, who turns and fires off the right pad of Nikita Babintsev. And now it's Cooley. Starts up with it on a 2-on-2. Walker hustles back. Cooley across the blue line, dropping it scrappily for a slap shot one-timer from Jovan Zimmerman by George McBay. Stephen Till chased out there. They're responsible for the first Wildcats goal. Puck is rimmed around by Jonathan Waring. The length icing to be called against the South Division representative at the Top Prospects Tournament, Jonathan Waring. He is one of 4 Wildcats players to be named to the tournament. If you haven't seen the announcement on Facebook or Twitter, it is there. Jonathan Waring, Ryan Orgel, Nick Rosa, and Ryan Burnett have been named to represent the Wildcats South Division. Will be called against Wichita Falls for hook off that face-off. Pretty bang-bang play. Cole Lucier is kind of in by who's guilty of this penalty, but I'm fairly certain it will be a hook. So Amarillo going to an early power play, their first of the sinners. I'm not sure I agree with that. But hitters aside, Donahue in the box for 2 minutes for hooking. Edgerton of hockey embellishment. It's but if they sell it, I don't understand why it. Isaac Cabinha picks it off, and he turns on the Jets. That direction, reverses a pass for Tilly, who will fire side of Babintsev. Long shot again, tipped wide. Initial shot taken from the right point by Wyatt Matthews. Del Ponte with a screen shot, swallowed by Babintsev. Kareem Del Ponte was an integral part of the Wildcats tying the game up late in Amarillo back on October 28th, in which the Wildcats would rally from behind. They were trailing 4-3. Ilya Skvortsov would tie the game with 4.5 seconds remaining in regulation to force overtime, during which Seamus Donahue would break Amarillo's hearts with a goal coming fresh out of the penalty box for his first game winner of the season. Second, rather. And Mika will curl and drag and fire of George McBay. But Del Ponte was a huge part of that goal. Gives Skvortsov the chance to rip it. Even and fire, blocked. Follow-up shot, missing the net. And now it's banked off the half boards by Jonathan Waring getting it out as far as neutral ice. Mika on the left side, battling for it. Trying to trickle it past Hanawal Scott, who storms the zone and fires, blocked. And now it's Skvortsov flying it out towards Hanawal. It bounces off his stick, a little too hot to handle, but he recovers it. Now behind the Bulls net. Tries to throw it back to the blue line. It's picked off. Now here comes Lucier, dropping it for Crowder. His shot in and out of the glove of George McBay, stays in play. Now it's behind the Cats net. Alex Truscott picking it up in the far corner. Truscott wheeling up into the high slot and backhanding the puck into the corner, the near corner. Now Canal will take it away. So the near corner to me is the far corner on Hockey TV, just to clarify any confusion, folks. Broadcaster's table is on the opposite side of the camera. So now it's held in the high slot by Price. The puck deflects off of the glass in the far corner. Slithered in front, Fees intercepting it. And Hanawal has had a very long shift. We'll just guide it on into the Amarillo Bulls zone. Babintsev will take a whistle. Shots, 1-0 your score in favor of the red and black. Isaac Cabinho with the lone tally. Just a $1:13 into the game, 11:41. The amount of time remaining in the period. We're going to step aside for our first period media timeout. We'll be right back. So it'll be Rosa's line again. This time he's got a different adversary on the faceoff, and Stephen Ipri, number 2 scorer on Amarillo, behind only Mika. Faceoff is won by Rosa and his right winger, CJ Walker. That's a good example of wingers contributing on the faceoffs. Walker gets the puck in the circle, and now Rosa turns out to Ipri, and he will whip it on out. Luke Edgerton missed the pass. Seamus Donahue got it as far as neutral ice. Matt Nels will toss it back in. The Wildcats co-captain lobs it off of a skate out to CJ Walker. Too far for Rosa. Stephen Ipri back the other way. First player to score against the Wildcats this season goes down taking a knee. A penalty will be called against CJ Walker. Dangerous hit. Bulls go to their first official power play of this game. Often here, but the Bulls are the ones who will get the first taste of the extra. Malcolm will fire one off the short side post. And now it's battled for by Orgel and Walcom, the former of whom won it and clears it. Blue line, their D-core, will start it out past the Cats' blue line, but he gave it away. Loose puck bobbling there in the slot, hacked towards the corner, and Donahue will try to swat it out, Canal rather, fanning on it. Walcom centers, big save by George McBay, point blanker. Stays in the zone. Cooley put it edge for Price, who will guide it on back to Fromberger. Fakes a slap shot. Fromberger goes to Walcom. Tried to go, and Tilly will slap it down. Crisis averted. A couple of very close calls. McBay having to come up big early on. Bew. And the HC Dallas netminder, 7 of his NAHL career. Gains the blue line, then falls. Del Ponte will his Chorney. Chorney playing in his Bulls debut, getting some ice time on the power play. Luke Edgerton intercepting the clearing attempt by Wyatt Matthews. Out into the right corner in the Cat zone. Burnett aided by Wyatt Matthews, can't clear. Chorney with a long wrist shot, paddled away by George McBay. Nice stop. And Burnett wins the battle against Stephen Ipri, but can't clear it past Mikhailian. Doing all he can to keep it in the zone, and he did nicely. Now it's Stephen Ipri fighting for it. Wedging and jamming away. Del Ponte's over there. Nice sharp pass for Chorney. He moves in. Chorney with a shot. Not sure if that got a piece of McBay, but it ultimately missed the net wide of the right post. Burnett will collect it. Spin back into his own zone. Chorney and the rest of the Bulls go to the bench, and the Cats are trying to catch him in the midst of this line change. Hanawal will rifle one right into the breadbasket of Nikita Babintsev. Cats penalty kill brought to you by Parkway Grill, improving to 1 for 1. Marcus Chorney, another player who's got ties to the Wildcats. He intended to play for the Cats this season. And things changed with the departure of John LaFontaine and decided to go to a coach he trusted very much in Marty Murray with the Minot Minotauros, a close friend of John LaFontaine's and Josh Nelson's. Another tie that Chorney's, he and Nelson, I believe, at some worked together at Shattuck St. Mary's. Chorney is a Shattuck product. And his older brother, Taylor Chorney, plays for the Washington Capitals in the NHL. Also a defenseman. Donahue will try a curl and drag move and rip one again into the chest of Babincev. So two defensemen we thought would be Wildcats this season are actually Amarillo Bulls right now. Marcus Chorney, Jovan Zimmerman. It's funny how this game works. So off the tie-up right in this face-off dot, Skinner can't get a backhand shot away with any speed on it at least, and the Bulls have a 2-on-1 developing here. Mika drops it off for the trailer. Backhander tipped on net. Big save by George McBay with the pad. Singerhouse will drive one. Blocked in front. The loose puck battled for. Donahue slides it out. Skvortsov's got a 2-on-1. He weaves down the left side. He's onside. He fires. Rattles it off the glass. Tried to pick the corner there. Missed blocker side of Nikita Babincev. Good keep at the blue line. Donahue weaves in and shoots it off the skate of Skvortsov. Nice. A lot of open ice here halfway through the first period. Plasmo cuts in. He's harassed by Donahue and lost the puck. Seamus Donahue from the red line will stop at the blue line and just scoot at the remainder of the length. Brade Crowder is there. Now for Mika. High saucer pass. Got it past several Wildcats. And the intended target eventually reached it, Walcom, but he couldn't do much with it. He was outnumbered. Fees skating down the left side, giving a shove from Crowder. Crowder shoves him down again. Rosa to pick up the puck, and the Bulls will be shorthanded here. C.J. Walker wrapped up. Rosa wins it, sends it back to Waring with a drive save. Rebound punched away. The Bulls finally get up. And again, their penalty kill dead last in the entire league, clicking at just 73.9%. And the Cats with the number 2 road power play in the league. High sticking will be the call against Bray Crowder. He got his stick up high on Kevin Fees. The Wildcats road power play clicking at over 31%, which is second only to the Shreveport Mudbugs road power play. Oddly enough, folks, the Wildcats on home ice power play in the league. 31%. Coming on, to say the very least. I've been around the game of hockey all my life, and I've never seen something like that. That's just straight up weird. Even if it was flipped, it'd be kind of weird, but the fact that they're so much better on the road is just mind-boggling. So Donahue walking the blue line, giving it over to Ilya Skrather. Skvortsov from the far circle handle between 4 Amarillo Bulls. Orgel gives it over to Ilya in the right circle, returning it. Orgel left circle, will shoot it. Save made by Babincev. Walker searching for it. Tilly locates it and rolls it around out to Ilya once more, and he will set up shop. Orgel, nice tape-to-tape pass. Donahue touches it along. Skvortsov will fire it. It was blocked by Brendan McKylian into the line of fire here on First Responders Night. Donahue now to Ryan Orgel. Up to Stephen Tilly, who's got some speed cutting through center. Gains the blue line. He is tripped, and a penalty will be called against Amarillo. Tilly was tripped upon crossing over the blue line, and I think he might get one for embellishment. Perhaps. We'll see. Certainly one will be called against George Mika. He was the Renaissance man for his team. And yes, Tilly will be going. And the fact that I don't know that this can be called anything other than embellishment against Stephen Tilly. Leave Amarillo without their best. Yep, it's embellishment against twice in the same period. It's a little absurd. Long shot from Del Ponte is blocked away by Nikita Babintsev. I just can't get on board with that penalty. Something about it just doesn't sit right with me. In general, it's not just me being a homer. You heard what I said about it earlier when the Bulls were guilty of embellishment. I didn't like that call either. So Amarillo has cleared it down. Half of this Wildcats power play has been killed off. This Cats power play is presented by Starbright Cleaners. Jonathan Waring will start the breakout from his own zone. From the red line, gave the puck away to Nitchie. The Chicago native is crunched up, going knees first into the half wall. The Cats were offside upon that zone entry, unbeknownst to Waring, unless he just wanted to take a run at Nitchie for no reason, but that's not really, I don't think that would suit Waring's fancy. The face-off to return to center ice here. 40 seconds to go on the penalty against Bray Crowder for high sticking. Bulls fail to clear it. Poikala from the left circle. Hangs on. Nice backhand pass out to Ryan Burnett. Rosa parks himself right in front of Babintsev. Poikala will swing it out to the top. Waring returns it. Poikala dishes it over. Kareem Del Ponte for his billet mate Waring. Picked off, and the Bulls have a short-handed breakaway. Charlie Singerhouse in alone between the circles to the forehand. Can't bury it. The stick is broken. A penalty will be called. Will this be a penalty shot? I'm not sure. Yes, it will be. Charlie Singerhouse will get a penalty shot. His stick was broken. Jonathan Waring doing all he could to impede the progress of Charlie Singerhouse on that short-handed breakaway. And George McBay, who is 10 for in his Wildcats debut, 14:40 into this game, have to come up with his biggest save as a Wildcat thus far, or force Singerhouse to miss. Both will do the trick. Charlie Singerhouse, a seasoned veteran of the NAHL in his second season with the Amarillo Bulls, going up against a young man playing in his first game. Sit up at center. Down the Bull ball rained on down here onto the Amarillo Civic Center ice. Some of them have landed in the Wildcats bench. I don't think that's a coincidence. But the Bulls have just tied this game off a Charlie Singerhouse penalty shot goal. Singerhouse with his 9th goal of the season and 24th point, which is good now for tied for 3rd on his team with Brendan Walcom. Tough spot to be in for George McBay, playing in his first game as a Wildcat, first period as a Wildcat, being forced to face one of Amarillo's top scorers on a penalty shot. And McBay did a pretty good job staying with him. House rather showed really good composure there in tight. Not panic whatsoever. He knew he had available with the time he had left. He forced McBay to go over onto his left. Singerhouse pulled it to his forehand, which was on McBay's right. Had a pretty much open net with McBay sliding the other direction. And he's the HC Dallas goal one. And more good news for Amarillo. They've got their straightedly slams it around the end wall shortly thereafter. 5 minutes to go in this first period. Amarillo has just tied it. Charlie Singerhouse on a penalty. Well, Stephen Ipri versus Ilya Skvortsov now in the face-off circle in the neutral zone. And puck was hidden there somewhere. Chorney this season for Marty Murray and the Minot Minotauros, notching 3 assists did Marcus Chorney. Mikhailian will loft it out into the neutral zone. Luke Edgerton collects it up to his stick, sets up Ipri right circle. He will fire. Didn't get much on it. I think it was partially blocked by Wildcats skate. McKinley long wrist shot, deflected. McBay locates it, pounces on it, and hangs on. As always, folks, if you're tuned in out there, we'd love to hear from you. Go ahead and shoot us a tweet at WFWildcatsHockey.com. If you've got my number, shoot me a text. And I'd be more than happy to give you a shout out wherever you may be before this game comes to an end. Now we've got the Earl Baker Jr. tuned in as always, Roger Burnett, Scott and Wes Darnell, and Rodney and Cherry Howard all tuned in out there. So thanks so much, guys. Hope you're having a great start to your weekend. Chris pass down the boards. Shot is blocked there by Kareem Del Ponte on Eric Cooley. Zach Heiser playing a forward position tonight because there's a couple of Wildcats forwards unavailable, Blake Ripley and Ricky Carballo, the first of whom is nursing an oblique injury, the suspension for an accumulation of misconducts. So Carballo is expected to return to tomorrow night's game. Ripley is just a big old question mark at the moment. Dementis Cyphus also, I believe, has a lower body sprain of some kind. He should be back shortly, we expect. Trainer Brian Deathridge does not believe the injury to be too severe. Cabinha chasing down the loose puck. He crunches up Bray Crowder on the near half wall. Heiser just couldn't hold it in the zone, nor could Donahue. Puck jabbed away from him and Cabinha. Here come the Bulls. A shot from Flarsmo, dealt with by McBay. Nice blocker save, and the puck punched out to center, where will throw one into the opposite boards, and he does. Rubbed out by Zach Heiser. Waring flips it into the zone. 3:14 to go in this first period. 1-1 your score. Your goal scorers, Isaac Cabinha and Charlie Singerhouse. Tilly jabs it up towards C.J. Walker. It's pried free from everybody. Luke Edgerton waiting for some help. Drops it off for the trailer, and Mika, look out here. Backhand shot swatted away. Out to Rosa. Crisis averted, but Rosa gave it away. Singerhouse will carry in to the right point and fire a long flip shot that didn't get through. Donahue. Behind his own net, out to Nick Rosa. Birmingham, Michigan native, storm bullet in the D and driving to the net. And Marcus Chorney in his Bulls debut, having a seat in the Bulls. It's been the players see him do something, they're bound to follow. And he is, our play for us so far has not been a good start. An errant pass by Ryan Burnett at the followed by a failed end. Flips past one like it was nothing. Drives wide on McKinley and then center. Loose in front, knocked away. And Burnett fires and he scores. Ryan Burnett located the loose puck. A dirty, scrappy goal, but the Wildcats will take it. It pinballed every which way in the slot. Worked its way to Ryan Burnett from the bottom of the left circle. And Amarillo stick. Took a fortunate bounce for the Wildcats. Bounced right to Ryan. We've got Wildcats goal earlier in the game. Easily dealt with by McBay to conclude period one. Season after dropping their first matchup at their first game against Amarillo, their home opener back on September 9th, in the last 5 in a row, 4 of which came in overtime. Some strange parallels have taken place this season between these two teams in particular, not the least of which was that goal scored by Skvortsov back on October 28th with 4.5 seconds to go. Very reminiscent of the goal scored by Austin Albrecht with 0.8 seconds to go. It was around the same year when it happened. It was in the same zone, the same spot on the ice, really, where it happened. It's pretty incredible. Complete deja vu. Teams have their own tails had that fluttered off of the that was the only Singerhouse penalty shot goal. And then the Cats would add a power play goal from Ryan Burnett, his 15th tally of the season, to give the Wildcats a 2-1 lead, which they now hold. We're going to step aside here. In a few minutes, we'll bring you your out-of-town scoreboard update. Talk about what the Cats must do to come away with 2 points tonight here on First Responders Appreciation Night as the police sirens and escort vehicles make their way onto the ACC ice. Don't go away, folks. We won't be gone long. All right, well, YouTube looks like we're having some difficulties with it. Historically, this place has been a little bit wonky. The Wi-Fi here has been a little bit wonky, to say the least. Them problems here. Improved quite a bit last year to this. I think they got a new ISP here. And for the most part, it has been better, but I've noticed there have been some issues with just the stability of it. It's not quite fast enough, it doesn't look like, to support it via YouTube, which is what we do. Find a internet port I can't do up here to possibly make the connection a little bit smoother. But in the meantime, we'll break down this game for you. First period in the books here. Cats got off and running very quickly. Isaac Cabinho in minute and 13 seconds into the game. It came from a textbook play. The sort of style Coach Nelson's hoping to inspire a little bit more and implement through, not even necessarily all the way through, just through enough to create some sort of best hockey league on earth at the NHL. What those guys do, arguably the best athletes on earth, and how they score the majority of their goals. I'd say 85-90% of the way that they score come off of plays really pretty similar to that one, just getting it on net from anywhere, hoping for a bounce to go your way, and cleaning up the rebound. And whichever team gets more opportunities like that normally wins the game. Both Wildcats goals were scored off of plays like that, where there was no script to them. He was just getting the puck towards the net and seeing what happened. Well, what happened both times was Nikita Babintsev turning around to find the puck in the back of his net. Kabina would score first, his third goal of the season and first in 4 months, and Burnett would tally later on, much later on a Wildcats power play as their man advantage continues its road dominance. Again, second best in the league on the power play away from K. Yeager Coliseum this season. The only team that can say it's got a better road power play this year are their rivals, the Shreveport Mudbugs, who are clicking at a 32% rate on the road. Cats barely behind them at 31, and Amarillo's lone goal happened to come on a Wildcats power play. I'm blanking on whoever tried to pass it to him. I believe it was Ilya Skvortsov, possibly Seamus Donahue. Someone over in the right circle tried to feed up. Captain turned down the Jets. Waring was beaten. Being on the power play to defense, House had already had at least a stride or two on all he could to impede his progress. Unfortunately, all he could do was hook him in that situation. And it looked like McBay actually had the initial shot covered, but due to the hook from Waring, which Alden would get a second chance to beat George McBay going into an open shot in the stopping 11 of 12 in the first 20 minutes. Let's take a glance around the North American Hockey League. We'll start in our own division. Corpus Christi and Odessa battling for that fourth spot in the South Division. Deadlocked at a 2-2 tie through 20 in Bank Center near the golf. For the Odessa Jackalopes, also Chase Thudium the score. Thudium would score 6-12 into the first. Sten would score at the very end of the first period. Larry Youngworth and like Jason DeMizio for Corpus Christi have scored. So again, Sting, their rivals in the Midwest, again leading them one rip. Johnstown and Aston taking on the Aston with a 1-0 lead late in period 3, a low-scoring game out in Pennsylvania. The Austin Bruins hosting the Cooley Region Chill. Austin was a pretty busy team during the trade deadline. Acquired some vital pieces. They're hoping to gear up, load up for a post. Robertson Cup runners-up 2 consecutive years before the Wildcats took that title from them last season. Austin leading 2-0 over Cooley at the Riverside Arena in Austin, Minnesota, about halfway through regulation. Against the Minnesota Magicians, star Brahmas. Brahmas in first, Mudbugs in third. Nothing but tough there. Amarillo is always a tough opponent, but I'm sure the Cats are still glad that they're not playing somebody named the Brahmas or Bugs. Right now they're playing each other at Night Tech. Surprisingly, it's Shreveport with a lead. Bugs, 13:28 into the first period. That game also in its first intermission. Bismarck hosting the Minnesota Wilderness in a 1-1 tie. Not hosting the Brookings Blizzard. Game just about to start at the Mesa Arena in Minot, North Dakota, and then finally the Alaska matchup at 7:30 p.m. Alaska time to take place between the Ice Dogs and the Kenai River Brown Bears. We never thought we'd be saying this, folks. Just won the Robertson Cup champion. All right, well, welcome back, folks. Hope you can hear me on YouTube. I know it's been spotty to say the least tonight. On Hockey TV, all is fine and dandy. The Wildcats still with 90 seconds to kill off on this Parkway Grill penalty kill, their second of the game. 1-for-1 are the Cats on the PK, hoping to improve to 2-for-2. The Bulls with the opportunity of tying this game up. Here comes Ipri marching in behind the net, stops and sets up shop down there. He will deliver it for Eric Cooley, Luke Edgerton rather, who will shuffle in behind the net, set up Ipri, back up high it goes. Chorney with a long drive, stopped all the way through, and now Edgerton trying to locate the rebound. Swooping in is Chorney, big save by McBay. It's loose in front and swatted out of there. Fees trying to lift the stick of Crowder, and the puck slides out into the neutral zone. It's Brendan McKiley in there. Brendan McKiley scored a goal in the Wildcats' home opener this season. Goal number 2, which is a bit of a controversial one, is we were never really able to fully verify whether the puck actually went into the net or not. Ryan Burnett flies down the right side, taking it wide on Brendan McKiley. He has to stop behind the net. It's Chorney and McKiley both pinning him up. He slips free, but without the puck. Singerhouse gets the pass. Now up to Stephen Ipri. He falls down. Donahue sidesteps him and clears it into the Bulls zone. That'll do it. Cats to 2-for-2 on the penalty kill tonight. It's an area they've really been looking to improve. It's not been good at all this season. The Wildcats penalty kill, 3rd from last in the league. On the road, it's been fine, but at home is really where it really needs the work. Nevertheless, good practice on the road. Heiser gets the pass on a 2-on-1. He will fire off the blocker of Babintsev, and now the Bulls have a counterattack. Orgel Canal hustling back. Singerhouse into the left circle with a shot. Glove save by George McBay. Good trust of his glove there by George McBay. Not in two minds at all, not clawing at thin air. Just holding his glove up high in the right position. And Singerhouse had nowhere to go with it. McBay trusting his instincts, and the puck just zipped right into it. Without him having to so much as really move a muscle other than to close the trapper. Zimmerman walking the blue line, holding it in the zone. A shot from the right circle is denied by McBay, who was down in the butterfly. Zimmerman will hold the puck at the left point. And the ex-Wildcat rolls it behind the Wichita Falls net. Price tries to center. It bounces in between the circles. Knocked out of there by Cabinia. And fellow Minnesotan Zach Heiser will gain the red line and lob it into the zone. Cabinia in after it. Delivers a hip check on Matt Nels. Tilley with a long shot. There's a slow roller and a change up after the deflection. Babintsev easily able to deal with it. Six of the next 9 series to close this season will be on the road. And if you didn't get a chance to see the discrepancy of how much better the Cats have been on the road this season in every department, it's on the Wildcats website in the pregame report. It's unbelievable. The numbers, I've never seen anything like it. Amarillo has just iced the puck. And try to pull that little story up, put things into perspective for you folks a little bit. We already mentioned on the road, the Wildcats, their power play is dead last. Or at home, rather. Their power play is dead last at 13%. On the road, it's second best in the league. And that by itself is enough to scratch some heads. That's just the beginning of it. And we'll get to some more in a second here. Mika from the left circle will shovel a backhander off of the blocker of George McBay. Now it's scrapped for behind the Wichita Falls net. Nick Rosa twisting and turning. Singerhouse right in his grill. Puck slips free right into the middle of the ice. McBay pounces on it. I don't think he saw it. It's right under his pads there. The Wildcats' winning percentage on the road, second best in the league, behind only Lone Star. At home, it's 17th. Again, their power play dead last at home, second best on the road. So Matthews can't filter the pass past Stephen Ipri. Nice forecheck by Alex Truscott. He's fighting Monte. Wyatt Matthews, newest addition to the Wildcats decor, stops, fakes out Truscott, tries to give the pass behind the net. Big turnover, and the Bulls capitalize. Alex Truscott buried it. Big bad mistake by the Wildcats defenseman just then. Amarillo makes them pay, and they have tied the game up. Alex Truscott with goal number 3 on the season for the Amarillo Bulls. And they're telling we know that's not. So the Wildcats are going to try their best to put what just happened behind them. Amarillo having just tied the game off of a Wildcats turnover. That's the worst way you want to concede goals. Mika will walk and wire. Gets blocked by Ryan Orgel. Now it's Singerhouse pivoting his way towards the blue paint. Lost a handle on the puck. Mika swings it up to the blue line. It's Chorney fighting for it. And the former Wildcats prospect still scrapped past Skinner. And it's wedged out of there by Ilya Skvortsov. Skinner down his off wing with a wrister right into the glove of Nikita Bavintsev, who will take a whistle. Skinner trying to fire it home in that soft little area. Tough save to make for a goaltender. Goaltenders are trained to put their glove high and sort of outside. Not supposed to really hold your glove to the inside. Skinner tried to shoot somewhere between his glove and his helmet. And Bavintsev made it look easy. South Division's in good hands. Lots of superstars from teams around the South going to the top prospects tournament. Nikita Bavintsev, one of them, will be one of the Wildcats goaltenders along with Dylan Lubismeyer from Shreveport. So Colin Price will shovel it out of the zone. He gains the blue line on the Cats' end. Weak wrister missing the net. Skvortsov banks it off the half boards, and Orgel sky hooks one down the ice. Hannawal has it land right in his wheelhouse, and he's closed off emphatically there along the Amarillo end wall. Down goes Skvortsov, still fighting for it. Jeff Skinner. Double team between a couple of Amarillo Bulls, Matt Nels and Eric Cooley. And now it's Zimmerman trying to clear. And that's a big break for Amarillo. Ryan Burnett emerged with the puck in the left circle. Looked like he was going to get a really good scoring opportunity away. And J.R. Strager just blew the opportunity dead with that whistle. And now we see what happened. Pane of glass just came out over there. Last season we didn't see this happen at all. This season it's happened twice. In Wichita Falls a few weeks ago it was a lot more, I don't want to say climactic, but I guess scary. Glass pane just completely shattered off a big hit. It was in the Shreveport Mudbug series, if I'm not mistaken. No, apologies, the Lone Star Brahmas series. It was either Children's Miracle Network night or weekend. Yes, that's what it was. Now I remember. Zach Heiser took a hit along the far half boards. I believe it was in his own zone. And trying to get the puck out, and he did. Took a hit. It didn't look like that big of a hit. It must have just been the way that Lone Star's forechecker and Zach Heiser went into the pane of glass because it wasn't an extraordinarily hard hit, but it completely shattered the glass and dislodged what was left of it. The equipment crew at the KYC did a really good job of putting it back together, fixing it up. Here in Amarillo, they're getting their best men on it right now. And now when this happens, there's really no ifs, ands, or buts about it. This has to get fixed for safety reasons. I've heard some, well, being in the South, some weird things have happened in hockey rinks, glass being dislodged. I've heard stories of in Rio Grande, a glass pane coming off and them not being prepared enough as to have replacement panes. They couldn't replace the one that had come off, too much of it had chipped off. And all that they could do was to stick a piece of plywood in there. And some season ticket holders who were down there in the first few rows had their vision blocked off because of the wood. And this was a really, really good job done by the equipment crew. It was like a NASCAR pit team. Got that taken care of real quick. Glass is back up, looks to be holding. They did not need to find a replacement. They just stuck it right back into its bearings. And it looks to be holding just fine. This game's going to continue, and the faceoff will stay in the Bulls zone, and that was a big break for Amarillo. Not sure exactly what led to the impending opportunity for Ryan Burnett, but boy, he had nothing but clear skies, and Nikita Babintsev separating him from his second goal of the game. Burnett was kind of cutting into the edge of the left circle, getting ready to release a shot. As a right-handed, he had a really good angle. Scorer the Wildcats have. Had a really good look on the net, and because of that glass pane coming off, the opportunity was quelled. So 14:43, the amount of time remaining in period two. The score tied up at 2 goals apiece. 20-17 the shots in favor of Amarillo, and the game has been tied by Alex Truscott earlier in this second period. The Bulls have a 2-on-1. Eric Cooley flying down the right side into the circle with a shot, just missing the net. Boy, does that kid have some wheels. Zimmerman holds it in the zone, goes to his captain, Matt Nels. Long shot didn't get through the skates of Heiser. Zimmerman retreating. And the ex-Wildcat will pivot behind his own net and deal it out towards Brendan Walcom, whose father, Stephen Walcom, a retired NHL referee. Zimmerman gets it at the left point. He's got some room. Into the circle with a shot. Glove saved by George McBay. Jovan Zimmerman playing in his first home game as an Amarillo Bull here tonight. He's played 3 on the road for his Amarillo Bulls. And it was really great to catch up with him before the game started. Really good kid. Would have missed having him around a little bit. Oh, and Waring goes down after the collision from Jacob Nitschke, losing his right glove. He recollects and resets. Seamus Donahue with a smart pass out towards Heiser, but he mishandled it. And that puck went off of a Bulls player standing on the bench there, so we get a whistle and a stoppage. Bulls bench loaded up with a trio of coaches. Matt Nicholson, Austin Sutter, Tony Adenucci. But to be honest, I don't see Matt Nicholson down there. I haven't seen him today. I'm wondering if he's not here tonight for whatever reason. Looked like Nick Nitz threw his stick there. Jonathan Waring gets another one. Play continues. Lucier down the right side with a shot. He scores! All right, well, apparently throwing your stick is legal now, and the Bulls take advantage of it. They have their first lead of the game. Another former Wildcats prospect makes him pay. Cole Lucier, who was at the Cats' first main camp at Orchard Lake St. Mary's in Michigan back in June. Made it to the All-Star game, but was eventually cut. Haunting some of his old potential teammates with that goal just then. Goal number 4 on the season for Lucier. And I'd like to get a second look at that play that led to that little rush. Waring was clearly rattled from it. It looked like what I saw was Miknich losing a handle of his stick, and it flew over at Jonathan Waring, which threw him off guard, obviously. It's not something you've got to worry about, is having a stick thrown your direction. But it was, intentionally or not. It came from Miknich. He just went straight to the bench, picked up another one. And meanwhile, Cole Lucier marched it down the right side and just snuck one through the 5-hole of George McBay. Berger will bank the puck behind his own net. And Bray Crowder, long shot off the blocker of George McBay. Singerhouse trying to check the stick of Hanawal. Skvortsov deliberately carries in, lobs one over Bray Crowder's head. Skvortsov takes a poke at it. Singerhouse negotiates his way over the Cats' blue line. Skvortsov intercepting between his own dots. Bounces it out towards Hanawal at the red line. Plarsmo advanced it the other George Mika this season with 50 points in 41 games, though tonight, which is a good sign for them. High in the air to try to glove the puck down. Burnett gets right in his face. Poikala now for Regula, fanning on the shot. Wyatt Matthews gives it over. Kareem Del Ponte's shot through a screen, stopped by Nikita Babintsev. Nice pass by Wyatt Matthews. He spotted Kareem Del Ponte with all kinds of room at the top of the left circle. Kareem's had a couple of good shots in this game, getting strong looks through traffic and not only seeing the lane, but managing to get the puck on net through multiple bodies. He's forced Babintsev to make a couple of tough saves. 22. 3-2 your score in favor of Amarillo. House just come to an end. The Cats are going to look to regain a lead. First, they've got to tie it back up. The faceoff is won by Amarillo in their own zone. Marching out in across the Wichita Falls blue line is Edgerton, whose shot is turned aside by George McBay. Looked to be interference on Kareem Del Ponte, or Poikala rather, in between the circles. Nothing called against the Bulls. And now Burnett will shovel it on down the ice behind Babintsev's net. He will drop it for Brennan McKylian. Poikala sizes up Truscott, challenging him. Puck is lofted a good 80 feet in the air. Del Ponte defending the rush from Edgerton. Edgerton with a beautiful pass over to Ipri. He's in alone. Big save by George McBay, who slammed shut the wickets on Stephen Ipri, robbing Amarillo's number 2 scorer of what would have been an insurance goal. What a pass by Luke Edgerton. And put his head up from the right point, gaining the blue line. He had nowhere to go. Skating with it at least. He knew he had teammates elsewhere. He spotted the best guy he possibly could have in that scenario. Stephen Ipri, fresh off a line change. Long wrist shot is blocked by Jonathan Waring. He will start the transition from defense to offense. Tilley down the left side, gives it over to Heiser, tries to dust it off, bounces in front, out towards the left half boards. One-handed jab down the wall by Donahue. Tilley wrapped up, and it's Matt Nels trying to work it out. He will. Up towards Amarillo's Colin Price. Flown into the left corner, gunned down by Eric Cooley. Walcom tries to center, intercepted by Del Ponte, who can't clear, as McBay will cover up a long retaliatory shot. And I think two teams who have not played against one another in months. You didn't expect it to be nearly as scrappy as the Lone Star series would get, or what we expect the Shreveport series to be like next weekend. The Wildcats straight up stole one while Evan Moyes stole one in a shootout. The Cats' first shootout victory all season a few weeks ago in Shreveport in game number 2 to escape with a 4-3 shootout victory in Shreveport, ultimately thereby sweeping the Mudbugs out at George's Pond. Shreveport will look to find their comeuppance next weekend. The Cats will travel back to George's Pond for the last time this season unless the teams meet in the playoffs. Orgel pinches, good ground covered by Fees to prevent a counterattack the other way. Walker slithers one into the slot between the dots, and a penalty will be called. Nick Rosa was brought down. Second penalty Nick Rosa has drawn in this game, and that's because, guess where he's going? Right to the front of the net. He's paying the price, but he's doing what Nick Rosa does best. Second time Bray Crowder's made a trip to the sin bin. First time didn't cost him. But when Nick Rosa drew a penalty earlier by going to the front of the net, the Cats would score on it. Ryan Burnett would do the honors. Different slate of personnel on this Starbright Cleaners power play for the Wildcats. It's Tilley, Walker, Skvortsov, Donahue, and Orgel. Wichita Falls 1 for 2 on their power play this evening. Donahue with a no-look pass picked off by Mika, can't clear it. Donahue down into the circle with a shot save, rebounded, Walker buries it. CJ Walker with the goal. Back-to-back power play goals for the Wildcats, and CJ Walker with his bread and butter right there. He loves to go to the front of the net, and he finished that one off for his 8th goal of the season to tie the game back up. Two penalties drawn by Nick Rosa, 2 goals have resulted from them. That's what happens when you are willing to pay the price and drive to the front of the net, regardless of whether you score or not. Perhaps it'll give someone else the opportunity to do so, and he has twice. So Walker with the goal coming off of assists from Donahue and Orgel. Skvortsov dipsy doodles his way in, loses the puck, and his countryman Babintsev manages to clear it between the skates of Matthews, who starts the back check. Edgerton puts on the brakes in the left circle. Down he goes, courtesy of Del Ponte. A penalty will be called against the Wildcats. Wyatt Matthews for hooking, and the Bulls back to the power play. Cats have done a good job shutting it down thus far. 2 for 2 tonight. The Wildcats penalty kill brought to you by Parkway Grill. It'll get a third chance. So Stephen Ipri lines up against Alexei Poikala. Future Michigan Tech Husky losing the faceoff. Burnett pressuring Chorney at the blue line. Can't knock it away from him. Good glove to stick play. Chorney goes D to D. McKinley long shot into the glove of McBay. And it might have bounced out of it as he looked down, located it, and he will take a whistle. 9:11, the amount of time remaining in the second period. This newly found 3-3 tie that we have after that CJ Walker power play goal. And CJ Walker, one of a bit of a rare breed. He's somebody that actually almost begged to be put out to the front of the net on power plays. He just loves going there so much. Chorney with a long shot, can't get it through his own man, and Crowder who's trying to outmuscle the opposition. McCallion from the left point. Can't hold it in the zone. Offside will be called against the young defenseman. Brennan McCallion. Face off back out to center. Colin Price, born in the year 1999, another youngster on the Amarillo Bulls, relatively recently acquired. Played in just 6 games for the Bulls this season. Cleveland Barons 18U team in his home state of Ohio. So Phil Fromberger starts it out with a full head of steam. Gaining the blue line, takes it wide, then put it across. Nice interception by Ryan Orgel, made that one look easy. He starts the counterattack on a 3-on-2. Rosa with a shot, stick save by Babintsev. Fees outnumbered 4-1. The Bulls escape with possession. Brendan Walcom gains the blue line. Price had it batted away. And the puck is lifted down into the Bulls zone. 42 seconds to go on their power play. Fromberger leaves it for George Mika, who will return it to his fellow alternate captain. Fromberger up and onto the tape of Cooley. Donahue reverses it. Cooley is there, having read it. Cabinia will try to clear. And with the help of Tilly, he does so. Mika resetting. Time for one last Amarillo rush on their power play. Edgerton circles back into his own zone. Puck is loose somewhere between the skates of Marcus Chorney. An errant pass turns the puck over. Tilly will just kill off what's left of this Amarillo power play, which generated little to none. Cats improving to 3 for 3 on their Parkway Grill penalty kill. Marcus Chorney leaving it for Brendan McCallion. Puck turned over behind the Bulls net. Tilly in for Cabinia between his skates and his stick. And the Bulls reassume command. Edgerton trying to locate the puck. He does. And Ipri, having acquired the zone, will give the puck diagonally into the Wildcats corner on the near side. Long shot off target by McCallion. Chorney elects not to pinch. Canal's got numbers as he starts a 3-on-2 into the Bulls zone. Roman Canal into the left circle. Drop pass. Regula fires. Stopped by Babintsev. Rebound. Not sure where the puck is. It's loose down there somewhere. Several players scrapping away. Emerging with it now is C.J. Walker. Out to Kareem Del Ponte. It was Cabinia, rather, who emerged with it. Tilly jabbed it out towards Marcus Chorney, who's been out there for a very long time trying to find a way to get off the ice. Cabinia reverses it along the end wall. McCallion spins it up to Regula, who holds it in the zone. Chorney with a long pass out past his own blue line and the red line. The Bulls are on a delayed offside here. They did not touch the puck, but it will at least give them the chance to change, which they desperately need to do. Icing being nullified courtesy of Cabinia's hustle. Bray Crowder behind his net with 6 minutes to go in period 2. This game tied up at 3 goals apiece. Regula, Poikala scrapping for it. Regula spins, tries to gain some room. Del Ponte got some separation, but a diving poke check nullified the opportunity. Del Ponte, Regula rather, nearly got tumbled into his own bench. The door opened. Regula nearly went crashing in head first. That would have made for a busy evening for Brian Dethridge. Poikala goes down, to the Bulls fans' delight. Call him a So Burnett wrapping up Chorney. I'm not sure if he's still out there. He still hasn't had a chance to go to the bench. Finally he will. That has to be one of the longest shifts of Chorney's career. And a backhand shot out of midair, played with a high stick. The play is blown dead. Though I believe it was actually a Wildcats player who touched it with a high stick. The faceoff will stay in their zone here, if I'm reading the signals correctly. By Michael Cohen, one of the linesmen. So 5 minutes to go in the second period. Again, your score tied up at 3. C.J. Walker with the power play goal to tie it up, to answer Cole Lucier's even strength goal a few minutes prior. So Jovan Zimmerman will stop behind his own net. And his skates tangled up there with a forechecking Hanawal. Hanawal digging. He and Skvortsov end up with it. Hanawal's pass just missing the outstretched blade of Jonathan Ware, roller hockey star, represent USA at the World Roller Hockey Championships a couple of years ago. Seeing the net. Waring holds it in the Zav right circle. Ilya Skvortsov interfered with the netminder, but Babintsev's goal would not have counted had it gone in. House dips his way past Donahue, then stops behind the net, where he's closed off by Ilya Skvortsov. Donahue attempted to go up, but was intercepted. Will fire, sticked away by George Wildcats, because they had some gassed bodies. .355 remaining in face-off win. Bray Crowder is off target with the long wrist shot. Kevin Fees getting in, is giving him multiple slashes. Backhand shot in front of a dislodged net from J.R. That was a little bit distracted. Kevin Fees and Bray Crowder creating a little bit of a diversion well away from the play, but it diverted my attention. Thought perhaps Fees and Crowder would drop the mitts. A little bit of a history in this game alone between the two of them. Crowder was guilty of high sticking Kevin Fees back in the first period. And he's a big boy as well, Bray Crowder. Standing at 6'5", 200 plus. He and Kevin Fees, a couple of heavyweights. The folks here probably would have enjoyed seeing a kerfuffle between the two of them. Welcome drops the puck off. Long right point shot by Crowder, dealt with by McBay, who's hugging the near side post now. As the puck slides its way back into the deep slot. Nice move by Crowder, who will fire. Again, stopped by McBay. That's a move you don't see every day from a 6'5" defenseman. It just seems like there's more and more of his type of defenseman now in the game. We got the prototype in Croy Evingston out in Shreveport, who many believe will be going to the NHL someday. The hands and the shot, skating and the size, the total package that Croy is. The NHL Central brought down hard after the fact. Cabinia goes straight after Bray Crowder, and I think some of face-off to take place back out at center in front of the Wildcats bench. Heiser and Cabinia both flanking Stephen Tilley. Heiser again playing forward tonight. Normally when the Wildcats are short a forward, he has always been the first choice so far. Coach Nelson believes him to be the most versatile defenseman in that regard. Now here comes Luke Edgerton, putting one into the left circle. It's Truscott, who's got a goal to his credit tonight. Tried to snip one short side, didn't work out. Tilley wrapping him up, and now the puck rolls out towards Heiser. Will backpedal it behind his own net. Truscott there to intercept. Delays behind the Wildcats' goal. Canal taking away his real estate. Swung back out to the left point. Fromberger dishing it D-to-D. Bray Crowder can't get a long wrist shot through. Edgerton is parked in front of the net. Now Truscott goes there while Edgerton takes the puck. Cabinia. Nice effort. Takes a hit to make a play, and then a second, and that's going to cost the Amarillo Bulls. And Donahue goes straight after the culprit, Stephen Ipri, who laid that cheap shot on Isaac Cabinia. The one sandwich of a collision wasn't enough. And Ipri's going to head to the box for at least a couple of minutes. Second time in the last few weeks, Isaac Cabinia has been completely blindsided. And he and Rosa have become something of a magnet, both of them, due to their hard-nosed style of play. So roughing, I'm being told, the call against Steven. Cats have come through on their last two power. So Rosa poking and prying down there in the corner, battling with Matt Nels. There, he and Swap, forward line, or a veteran line out there for the Wildcats on this power play. Poikila, Burnett, Rosa, Del Ponte couldn't handle the pass from Poikila. Singerhouse trying to outrace Waring, nothing doing for him. Skvortsov on the ice now, gaining the blue line, sets up Burnett on a brief 2-on-1. Tried to go backdoor for Poikila, the pass was behind him. Poikila passes it behind the net. Burnett will do a give and go, but he didn't go. Now it's Del Ponte returning the pass. Poikila left circle with a screen shot. Burnett was parked in front of the goal, and Babintsev made the save, seeing it all the way. Good zone time for the Cats in the power play. Backdoor pass. The net was dislodged by Babintsev, and Burnett missed it regardless. And it looked like Burnett missed it because Babintsev kicked the pegs off. And I don't like this one bit, folks. This is happening way too much for my liking. How many times did we see in the Lone Star Alec Calvaruso or Max Brodzik just having a scoring chance? And what bothers me more so than the fact that it's happening is the fact that nothing's being done about it. Plain and simple, if a goaltender kicks his net off with nobody else around, when the opposing team has a penalty. That's delay of game. I don't understand. Pivots with it. He goes down, courtesy of Fromberg, by Truscott. Walker in fighting for it, spinning and turning. Now it's Tilly, top of the right circle. There's a Bull down in the slot. It's in the white sweaters. Skvortsov resets with time winding down on this Starbright Cleaners power play. Cats in danger of dropping power play number 4 on the night, dropping to 2 for 4. As Skvortsov fakes the shot, gives it to Orgel. Cross ice for Donahue. He unloads, blocked away by Babintsev. Now it's Orgel picking it up with 19 remaining in the period. Donahue hustles after, tries to one-hand kick it up, trying to catch Amarillo in the midst of this line change, but the Cats are tired as well. Burnett goes to the front of the net. Tilly gives him the pass. Swipes it back behind the goal. Tilly's got it. Skvortsov's open. Tilly finds him. Skvortsov shoots, pad save, and time has expired. Huge surge late in that second period by the Wildcats, who nearly regained the lead. They could taste it, but it didn't come to fruition. Nikita Babintsev making a couple of big saves, the last of which was on his, as we enter the second intermission of this game. 3-3 your score through the first 40 minutes here at the Amarillo Civic Center. Amarillo outscored the Wildcats 2-1 in that period, but the Wichita Falls Wildcats would gain momentum as the segment went on. And for Amarillo, this is probably this is impeccable timing, frankly. They're all out of sorts late in that second period, and they're fortunate the game is still tied because the Wildcats probably should have taken the lead there with all those close calls. He had an easy goal. That's the type of goal Burnett makes in his sleep. So anyways, what's done is done here. C.J. Walker, the lone goal scorer for the Wildcats, came on a power play to retie the game. But before that, Amarillo would score twice. Alex Truscott capitalizing off of an errant pass in the Wildcat zone. A big bad turnover, really. And then Cole Lucier would score on what looked to be a questionable play, to say the least, in which Tyler Micknich appeared to throw his stick at Jonathan Waring, thereby rattling the Wildcats defenseman, and perhaps Seamus Donahue as well, who was caught a little bit out of position on that rush by Lucier, who cleanly beat McBay through the 5-hole to give the Bulls their first lead of the game. And again, C.J. Walker would answer to tie it up. So 3-3 your score through the first 2 periods here at the bullpen. We're going to take a break. When we come back, talk about this game in greater detail and look into what the Wildcats must do to come away with 2 points tonight. Take one last look around the NAHL and some score updates. That and more coming your way shortly. Stay tuned, folks. All right, welcome back, folks. Going to do a quick intermission update here and see if I can tie up some loose ends, figure out what's going on with this Wi-Fi, see if I can find a way to speed it up, find an Ethernet cable if, at the very least, potentially solve the problem for tomorrow night's broadcast. So we'll make this intermission report as brief as possible. 2-1 the score in favor of Amarillo in that second period to tie the game up. That was confusing the way I worded that. My apologies. Amarillo outscored the Wildcats 2-1 in that second period. That's better. To gain their first lead of the night and then would concede it after C.J. Walker would tie it late in the second period on a Wildcats power play, which had then scored 2 consecutive power play goals. But they would drop that last one they just had after Isaac Cabinho was roughed up by Stephen Ipri near center ice. So in that second period, it would be Alex Truscott scoring just 4 minutes into the second period after Luke Edgerton set him up off of a bad Wildcats turnover in the defensive zone. Edgerton and Truscott came together to make the Cats pay. That goal scored by Truscott was his third of the season and would level the score at 2. And then just 2.5 minutes later, Cole Lucier found himself on not exactly a breakaway, but a pretty clear lane to the net. I think Donahue was back. Lucier had a lot of room, walked and wired in from the right circle and beat George McBay cleanly with a wrist shot through the 5-hole, I believe, perhaps low blocker side. That whole little snafu happened because of a really weird play. Miknich lost his stick, was actually given an assist on the goal. I'm not sure if he threw it or he mishandled it or lost it, what have you, but it went straight to Jonathan Waring, and it had, I hesitate to say he just lost it because it looked like the velocity at which it was flung towards Waring, it looked like the only thing that could have happened was he threw it. And Waring was rattled by it. Miknich just went right back to the bench, picked up a new stick. Play continued. Lucier found himself on a one-on-one with Donahue. His spacing probably not exactly what he would have wanted. Lucier had a lot of room to step in and fire, and he did, and he beat McBay. And then C.J. Walker would retaliate less than 4 minutes later as the Cats went back to the power play, given to them because of Nick Rosa's willingness to drive to the front of the net. Unfortunately, Rosa was not given an assist on either of the 2 power play goals. Pardon me, he was given a secondary assist on the first Wildcats power play goal, but not on the second. But give him one for drawing the penalty. In our hearts, he's got an assist. And then it was C.J. Walker bearing the rebound. Seamus Donahue, Ryan Orgel, by C.J. Walker, his 8th of the season, where we stand now, 3-3 through the first 2 periods here at the Amarillo Civic Center. We'll keep the out-of-town scoreboard update just exclusively to the South Division because, again, I've got to run here and try and see if I can figure something out to salvage YouTube for at least tomorrow, if not tonight as well. Odessa has fallen behind in Corpus Christi. Nathan Breyer, Ice Rays co-captain, scored to put them in front 3-2 down in Corpus. So the Ice Rays with a 1-goal lead midway through the third period. That game way ahead of where we're at. And in Topeka, they maintain a 4-3 edge over the Springfield Junior Blues. Let's take a look to the Clash of the Titans out at Nitex. Shreveport's having their way with the Brahmas tonight. 3-1 the score. Again, Gio Carabelli, Kristaps Jakobsens, who is a Latvian defenseman, also named to that top prospects team for the South Division. One of the defensemen, Ryan Orgel, and Jonathan Waring, in all likelihood, will be paired up with at some point. Coach Nelson, very excited to work with Orgel and Waring, obviously, but also some of the other defensemen that he's got at his disposal for the South Division team. We'll get into that in more detail in the third period. But Shreveport leading 3-1. Frankie Melton with another goal for the Mudbugs, the NAHL's leading goal scorer with 25. John Zerman, the Brahmas captain, the only Brahma to put the puck in the back of the net that game, 2/3 of the way through as well. All right, so still plenty of time left, folks. Again, I've got to cut this intermission report earlier than I usually do just to see if I can figure out how to improve the quality of the YouTube broadcast for tonight and for possibly tomorrow as well. So stand by. We'll be back in about 10 minutes or so to bring you third period hockey from the bullpen. At 3 here at the bullpen. It's been a tumultuous game, up and down, back and forth, past Seal's bench. Edgerton is cross-checked. Canal slips it up too far for Poikala. Chorney gave it across on the horizontal sideboards. Spins away from Ryan Burnett on the forecheck. Nice crisp exit out of the Amarillo zone as Lucier carries in. Edgerton, rather. Sets up Chorney, right circle. Roman Canal turns with it. Orgel sweeps it back down to Canal, who can clear it past the stick of Truscott. Put out to center. Chorney doubling back to get it. Make the safe play. Banks it off the end boards. Over onto the left side, and it's Brennan McKylian. We'll just rattle it around into behind the Wichita Falls net. George McBay to play it around onto the near side boards. Skinner up for Hanawal, who's got some wheels. He fires off the chest and the glove of Babintsev. 2 minutes and change gone by in the third period. Couple of shots, one on each side. Game remains tied up at 3. Every single game played between these teams this season has been decided by one goal. Four of those 6 games would go to overtime. Not sure why it is, but that's just what happens when the Cats and the Bulls get together. Cats haven't lost in this building since November 6th of 2015. Wyatt Matthews with a long wrist shot couldn't get it through the traffic. 2 of those games since then, the Cats would score with 4.5 seconds or less remaining in regulation to force overtime and ultimately go on to win. Eric Cooley off to the left side, distributes it out to Walcom, who's closed off. Cooley will follow up, slam on the brakes, and look for some help. Cooley twists away from Del Ponte, gains some separation, put it across for a one-time shot by Price. Didn't have much zip to it. Ilya Skvortsov carries it out. Cats are on a delayed offside here as Skvortsov finagles his way past a couple of Bulls checks. Lays the pass over onto the right side for Waring, who rifles one off of the blocker of Babintsev. Skvortsov intercepts the pass from Fromberger. Try to guide it behind the net. And Fromberger shovels it off the glass, off the linesman. And I believe the linesman, Michael Cohen, is signaling back to the Bulls zone. The faceoff will stay there, but the referee thinks it belongs in the neutral zone, so we'll see what they decide. Looks like J.R. Strager is going to be overruled here. Face-off to the right of Nikita Babintsev. George Mika versus Stephen Tilley in the dot. And the Bulls only had 4 skaters on the ice. And fortunately for them, somebody realized that. Plarsmo gets out there. Mika booted from the draw, but Singerhouse beat Tilley regardless. Now a big cluster of traffic transpires. Cabinho will start it down the right side on the counter. Had to put it in front, went off of the body of Zach Heiser, and again the nets come off. 3.5 minutes into this third period, we're still tied up at 3. Cats are back in action tomorrow night. Same time, same place, but we expect the start to be not quite as delayed as it was tonight, due to it being First Responders Appreciation Night here at the bullpen. Tomorrow, to my knowledge, there's nothing going on out of the ordinary. So 7:05 p.m. the puck drops tomorrow night. Wildcats and Bulls will close out this series. The Cats' final trip to this building this season. Unless, of course, they play in the postseason. Charlie Singerhouse has the first Bulls goal tonight. A shorthanded penalty shot. Waring fighting for it. Donahue wrapped up and behind the Wichita Falls net with Alex Truscott. Mika in helping him out. Puck rolls to Fromberger. He will take a wrist shot that knuckleballs its way on net, and McBay makes a butterfly save. Fromberger unable to hold the blue line. The linesman saying offside perhaps. No, elbow called by the referee J.R. Strager against, looks like Tyler McNitch. McNitch to the Bulls sin bin. 2 minutes for elbowing, if I'm not mistaken. Cats have had a strong night on their power play, as they so often do on the road. Tonight, 2 for 4. Good night for special teams all around for the Cats tonight. 3 for 3 on the PK as well. And it's the veteran forward line, Rosa Burnett Poikala up front. Del Ponte and Waring manning the points. Del Ponte's long wrist shot didn't get through the screen this time, which is a bit of an anomaly. All night tonight, he's been able to get his shots through the screens. Burnett takes a healthy hit upon crossing the blue line. He's back up onto his skates. Second straight power play. A Wildcats forward has been rubbed out emphatically. Last time it was Rosa who had his bell rung. Then it was Burnett. Will Poikala be next? So circling in as Rosa, setting up Waring with a long wrist shot. Doesn't get through, and the Bulls clear it. Something the Cats have done so well all evening long have suddenly not come to pass in the last few seconds on this power play. Last few shots they've had from the blue line have been blocked. Now Poikala gets the diagonal pass from Burnett in the left circle. Poikala will shoot, and Babintsev makes the save. So a change of personnel. And the guy who scored the last Wildcats goal, C.J. Walker, is out there. He tallied on the power play simply by parking himself in front of the Bulls' net and collecting the rebound. It'll be Skvortsov, Tilley, and C.J. Walker up front, Donahue and Orgel at the back. Bulls win the face-off and whip it down. Seamus Donahue starts it out from behind his own net. Distributes it out to Ryan Orgel, who was stymied at the red line by Stephen Ippery. Donahue will feed Stephen Tilley. Totowa, New Jersey native gains the blue line on the left side. Elects to bank it off the corner boards in behind the net. Ippery will try to clear. Can't get it past Skvortsov, who has it now at the right point. Skvortsov does a head fake, cuts into the right circle, put it back door, off the post, and the puck is somehow kept out by Babintsev. Puck was put to the side of the net there for Stephen Tilley, who had it deflect off his stick, ultimately off the post, and it stayed out. What a save by Babintsev. I'm not sure if he got his toe over that puck, somehow froze it with just his pads. They were stretched out. Puck is cleared over a jumping Donahue. Just 15 seconds to go on this Wildcats power play, which has been their 5th of the night. They're 2 for 4. Time for one last shot. Donahue with a smooth zone entry, shoveled it over into the corner on the other side. The Bulls have cleared it again, and that'll do it. Cats dropped to 2 for 5 on the power play tonight for the first time on the evening, falling below 50% on the man advantage. Walker hauls it off the glass as it falls flat out at center. Jovan Zimmerman will give it D-to-D for Matt Nels. Puck is deflected into the Wildcat zone by Brendan Walcom. Lost it to Poikala. Donahue will give it back to his Finnish centerman, who will skate down the left side. Dumps it behind the Bulls net, and it's Price clearing it over Donahue's glove. Matthews' glove, rather, and Del Ponte will cover ground in his own zone, flipping it back out into the neutral zone. Regula gets the pass from Poikala in stride. He charges behind the net, will try a wraparound, fires, and a nice save is made in net by Babintsev. Regula cut quite a bit to the offside or to the outside there. Wasn't exactly a wraparound, but he wrapped it around the net and had a Good couple of feet to work with, giving himself more daylight. You're in too tight on those, and you've got absolutely nowhere to shoot. A smart play by Regula, but Babintsev was better. Burnett tried to just chip it in, go to the bench, but he got too much under it, and the puck deflects out of play. 12 and a half remaining in period 3, which has gone by very quickly. Bulls still out shooting the Cats, 33-31. The score remaining tied at 3 goals each. 2 of the Cats' 3 goals have come on the power play. One of the goals they allowed came on their power play as well. Not sure if it counts as a shorthanded goal because it was on a penalty shot. The Waring tosses it. Miknich, or Babintsev rather. Well, Tilly's going to step in, get booted. Cabinha will take his place. Back beat the 19 in white. Donahue had a surprisingly quiet evening as the NAHL's leading scorer. Outer swatting at it. Plarsmo couldn't get to it in time before McBay had it in his glove and hangs on to it. $2,874 the attendance here at the Amarillo Civic Center. That's the number I was given. Not a bad turnout on First Responders Night. Shot right off the draw by Edgerton into the glove of McBay. Now we head to our third period media timeout. We're going to take a quick break and be right back. Of the 6 would go to overtime. The Wildcats would win all 4 of those matchups, go to overtime. The only game this season was on Wichita Falls home opening night back on September 9th. The Cats didn't even have nameplates on their jerseys yet. Puck is soccered along there by Alex Truscott, looking for his second of the game. Meanwhile, it's battled for by Edgerton, also looking for his second, who will swing the pass out to Truscott. Now to Chorney, making his Bulls debut. Back behind the Wichita Falls net it goes. Kvortsov swats it along, as does Hanawal, thereby clearing the zone. And it's dealt with in the Bulls' end by Alex Truscott. Drops it off for Chorney. Marcus Chorney gets it back to Brendan McKylian. Lofts a puck up and onto the right side on the tape for Ipri, who drives and shoots. Big pad save by George McBay. Best save of the period for McBay. And the puck is somewhere in the equipment of Ipri. Finally drops down onto the ice. Ipri takes a hit. That was a strange looking play. George McBay is going to hang on to the puck. The puck was sort of frozen somewhere in Stephen Ipri's equipment. He had no clue where it was. Sometimes you see that happen with goaltenders because they've got so much equipment that when they make a save, it gets lost. The puck gets lost up there somewhere, and they're not sure where it is exactly. I remember one time watching a Blackhawks game, Corey Crawford had the puck somewhere in, I guess it went up his sleeve or something. I've got no idea, but it took a good couple minutes, 2-3 minutes. Jonathan Taves helping him find it, the referee helping him find it. They could not find it. And finally it just popped out. That sort of happened with Ipri. You don't see that too often with skaters, as McBay hangs on to another long wrist shot from the left point. George McBay making his Wildcats debut. Pretty strong showing. 33 of 36 right now. Can't complain about those numbers. Bulls win another offensive zone faceoff. Welcome had it poked away. CJ Walker's going to drive down the right side. He fires. Butterfly save made by Nikita Babinsev. He was out aggressively to challenge CJ Walker, and he made the stop on the future Minnesota State University Maverick to keep the game tied. Babinsev hoping to make his Division I college commitment sometime soon. That's why he's been selected to represent the Bulls for the South Division, the top prospects. Babinsev, a 97 birth year, still got another year after this season. To my knowledge, he did not play professionally while growing up in Russia, so he is eligible to play college hockey, unlike Skvortsov and Sipis. Now here comes Luke Edgerton with an opening on the right wing. Put it in front, easy stick stop for George McBay. Puck is knocked off the blade of Walker by Ypres. Aggressive forecheck by the Bulls. They're buzzing for the go-ahead goal. Nice cycle of the wagons. Ypres had it pried off his stick as it slides in behind the Wildcats net. Rosa there to pick it up. Del Ponte, Fees converge there in the near corner. Can't clear it. Long shot by Crowder, deflects wide. And Truscott loses it to the stick of Kareem Del Ponte, and the Swiss defenseman gives it over onto Nick Rosa, and the Cats caught offside upon that zone entry. I didn't see it, but the linesman did. We have crossed the halfway point of the third period, still tied at 3 goals apiece. Not sure what that was all about. Nick Rosa, Seamus Donahue ran into each other in the middle of that line change there between whistles. Well, Waring has his pocket pick. Look out here. He's got to hustle back. A shot off the blocker of George McBay as he scoots back in behind his own net deep. That puck was stolen by Nestor Plarsmo, who nearly made the Wildcats pay for another turnover. Waring a little bit too hesitant to get the puck out of his own zone. Seamus has it from the Bulls logo at center. Pops it into the Bulls zone behind the goal line. Plarsmo trying to roll it onto there. Donahue gets the pass from Burnett. Waring will rifle a wrister into the glove of Babinsev. Both goaltenders perfect so far in period 3. Boyko lines up. Face-off taking place, glove side of Nikita Babinsev. Boyko is going to get thrown from the face-off. And Regula, who's a natural center, will take his place. And he wins the face-off. Waring will drive it right off the draw. It gets blocked. And the puck is lobbed ahead for Luke Edgerton down the left side. Drop pass. Nice defensive read by Regula. McConley follows up and blasts it well wide of the net. Edgerton just getting back onto his skates now. Waring will trickle the puck across. Read easily by Ypres, whose pass was not a very good one. And Luke Edgerton falls down. Meanwhile, it's Ryan Burnett crisscrossing and dropping the puck off for Donahue. Right circle will fire. Blocked. And that shot stung the Amarillo Bull, who blocked the shot, trying to figure out who that is. I believe it's McKylian. Now it's on Edgerton's stick, who can't filter the pass into the high slot. Tilley there picking it off, and we get a whistle and a stoppage of play. Seamus Donahue guilty of elbowing. Cats have been perfect on the penalty kill tonight, 3 for 3. But Amarillo's got one of the best power plays in the league. Ranked 3rd coming into this game at 24.4%. Mika swats it along to Fromberger, gets it right back from him at the right point. He will drive, a stick save, McBay. Loose puck picked up by Walcom in the near side corner. He will drop it off for Mika. Mika fakes one way, spins it towards Fromberger at the top of the left circle with a beautiful pass. Fromberger gives it down to Eric Cooley, who will punch it back behind the net. Orgel wrapping up Walcom. Picked up and dealt back from Edgerton to Mika. Now it's Walcom again. Price sets up shop in front of the goal. It's Cooley backhanding one off the side of the net after McBay got a piece of it. Cooley and Price battling for it with Canal. Here's Walcom emerging, trying to slip it across the crease. Turnaround shot, gets blocked. Given out to Mika, high slot. He will walk and wire. It's blocked, and Kevin Fees will be able to clear off the glove of Tilley, who pursues it. Fromberger to beat him to it. And that was just half of the Bulls' power play. Fromberger protecting the puck and sliding one through the blue paint. Crowder there at the left point. Keeps it in the zone. Mika stays out there, as does Fromberger. The 2-point men. One-timer fan down by Crowder, who was knocked off balance by Isaac Cabinha. Finally, Mika and Fromberger are off the ice. A fresh slate of blue liners now. And Brennan McKylian and Marcus Chorney on the back end. Cabinha with a good stick, killing off a few more seconds. Half a minute remains on this Bulls power play. Cats penalty kill brought to you by Parkway Grill. 3 for 3 tonight, looking to improve to 4 for 4. Chorney shovels one off the shoulder of Crowder. McKylian near the Bulls logo, resetting. Luke Edgerton drops it to Brennan McKylian, who will fly the puck right into the glove of McBay, who plays it down to Kareem Del Ponte. Loses the puck. Crowder bounces one around. Just barely crosses the blue line. If the Bulls touch it, it will be offside. Looked to be kept from my vantage point, but the linesman Michael Higgins believed it to be a delayed offside, so the Cats will take it. They've improved to 4 for 4 on the penalty kill tonight. Been a great night for special teams for the Wildcats. Looking at 40% on their power play at 100 on the PK. Cabinha tripped up by Lucier. Puck comes in front of the net, and Regula's knocked off balance by Jovan Zimmerman. Couldn't get a shot away as a result. Lucier can't clear it past Orgel. Zimmerman will try his luck. He takes it behind the net. Jovan Zimmerman gave it away. Ryan Burnett to Poikala. Missed him with the pass. It was between his skate and his stick. Lucier, the recipient of the pass in the neutral zone. Will flip one wide, blocker side of McBay. Burnett will slam it down the ice. Will this go far enough? No, it took a deflection. Michael Higgins emphatically signaling no icing against the Wildcats here. And now here comes Plarsmo. Nestor Plarsmo deking in and firing, fought off by George McBay. McNitch put it back behind the Wildcats goal. Here comes Ryan Orgel, offensive-minded defenseman, flying down the right side with a wrist shot off of a Bulls stick as it pops in behind the Amarillo net, staying in play. 5 minutes to go in period 3. We're tied up at 3 goals apiece. Hannawal pressuring the puck carrier. Plarsmo gets caught. Here comes Skvortsov on a 2-on-2 developing. He's got Skinner with him. Skvortsov will try the curl and drag. Wheels in behind the net, buying some time for his teammates to complete the line change, which they've done. Now Hannawal is wrapped up by Crowder. He and Skinner battling with each other, trying to fight for the puck. Hannawal got it to Skinner, who's knocked down by Crowder. Now to Skvortsov, in behind again. Tried to slip it in front for Donahue, hops over his stick. Cats can't keep it in the zone, and the Bulls escape with full possession. Singerhouse had it knocked away from him by Roman Canal, who brought him down to the ice, and a penalty will be called against Roman here. Not a good time to take a penalty, and the Wildcats defenseman is going to be guilty of interference. Right back to the power play go the Amarillo Bulls. 4.5 minutes remain in period 3. The game's still tied at 3. Third period's been scoreless thus far. It's been a goaltender's period. McBay and Babintsev, both perfect, but Roman Canal will have a seat. Interference against the Wildcats, number 7. And a busy night for Isaac Cabinha, Kevin Fees, Nick Rosa, and the likes. Continues to get busier. With a lot of work in their own zone. And it's this big power play unit. Setting foot on the ice for the Amarillo Bulls, who are due for a power play goal, with the number 3 ranked man advantage in the league being silenced 4 straight times by the Wildcats tonight. And here's the NAHL's leading scorer, George Mika, gains the zone. Knocked off the puck by the Wildcats co-captain, Seamus Donahue. Del Ponte, with a nice job, able to clear it off the glass and down. Fromberger starting the breakout. He'll carry it in himself between the D, put it over to Walcom on the right side. Fromberger goes down. Donahue gloves it behind the Cats' net. He's got some room and some time. He's going to just waltz it on out of there and swivel his way across the Bulls' blue line, firing one into the glove of Nikita Babintsev. .344 left. .17 to go on the penalty for interference against Roman Canal. It's been one of the best nights for special teams I can remember that the Cats have played. Everyone's buying in. Some changes were made before this game by Coach Nelson regarding the systems. Special teams in particular, there were some certain points he wanted to key in on. Ultimately, with the purpose of making his power play more predictable and his penalty kill more simple, both of which look to have paid off tonight. Luke Edgerton zigzagging his way over the blue line. Chorney keeps in the clearing attempt by Orgel. Crowder from the right half boards. Jostled free by Poikala. Chorney turned it over. Ryan Burnett was there, harassing him. Mikhailian will flip it back in. Orgel will slam it out. No, it's kept in the zone. Ipri held it, and he tried to pass to Crowder. Picked off by Waring and cleared. 40 seconds to go on Roman Canal's interference penalty. Chorney spins away from Poikala. Gets it to Mikhailian behind the Bulls net. He will start the breakout. Half minute to go on the Bulls power play. Puck deflects into the zone by Bray Crowder, who plays forward on the power play. Defense at even strength. Seamus Donahue takes the man, clears it. Nice board work there by the Wildcats co-captain, winning it from Stephen Ipri and then clearing it past the point man. Time for one last Bulls rush on their man advantage. They're in jeopardy of falling to 0 for 5 on the night. I'm not sure if that's happened to them all season, the way their power play's been. Long shot from center, routine stop by McBay, and the puck is cleared past Mika's stick and down, and that's done it. Cats improved to 5 for 5 on the Parkway Grill penalty kill tonight with another huge penalty just killed off, but it's not, the danger's not over yet. Mika will shoot it. It was blocked. That was Nels, rather. He's got Seamus's stick wrapped up in him. Puck bounces in front, and the puck's been cleared now. Regula's going to gun it down. Right behind him is Matt Nels. Regula mishandled the puck, and now we'll shovel it across. Pops back out to the high slot. Wyatt Matthews a drive. It was a headhunter that missed over top of the net, and it went off the glass. Now it's Tilley. Tries to slip it in behind the net, hoping to get it to Regula. No such luck. Walcom from the near half boards, able to bank it out to the neutral zone. Orgel intercepting there. Put it across the blue line. Offside is Cabinia. So the whistle blows, stopping play. 104 seconds left to go in this hockey game. Bulls with a 5-point edge in shots on net, 42-37. But the score remains tied at 3. Cats have defeated their rivals from the Texas Panhandle now 5 times in a row, looking to make it 6. 4 of these 6 games have gone to overtime. They've all been decided by a single goal. And it looks like that will be the case, surely, again tonight, barring, of course, an empty netter if one of these teams score here in the next 100 seconds. Orgel back to get it in his own zone. He will toss one diagonally over there to Wyatt Matthews. Skvortsov springs Skinner down his off wing. Skinner drives the net. He is knocked down. He's going to draw a penalty, and the Cats will go back to the man advantage. Nice work by Skinner. He's got some hands and some moves and all kinds of confidence to execute those moves. Tried to take it wide on the Bulls defenseman. Not sure who that was, but a clear hooking infraction dealt by Marcus Chorney in his Amarillo Bulls debut, and that's got to be a tough time to take a penalty for him. So Chorney to the box. And the Wildcats are going to try to end this game in regulation if at all possible. C.J. Walker's got a power play goal tonight, the last one the Cats scored. He's out there now. Donahue from the high slot. Over to Skvortsov. Touch pass to Orgel. He fires. Big save by Babintsev. Nice lateral movement to track the puck and scoot his way over there to close off the lane for Ryan Orgel. That was some really smooth puck handling and stick work and crisp passing by the Wildcats. Donahue to Skvortsov to Orgel. If you're watching on HockeyTV.com, what they just did is about 10 times harder than it looks. Skvortsov with an offensive zone face-off win. Orgel spins away from Nitschke. Scrappy penalty killer for Matt Nicholson and the Bulls, who have just cleared it down. Puck wobbles past the Wildcats goal line where George McBay will give it to Seamus Donahue. Future Michigan Tech Husky from the Bulls logo. Put it over the blue line for Skvortsov. Cats are onside here as the puck slides between the skates of Tilly. Skvortsov deals it on over to Seamus Donahue at the right point. Long wrist shot deflected off the paddle of Babintsev. Stays in play. Skvortsov left circle in, shoots. Babintsev makes the save. Another huge stop on his countryman, and the frustrations continue mounting for Skvortsov as 25 seconds remain in this game, in regulation at least. The Bulls have again cleared it. 20 seconds to go in regulation, which gives the Wildcats time for one last turn up the ice here. A baker's dozen to go. Tilly leaves it for the speedster Ryan Burnett. Stick handles by, waltzes in, shoots off the glove of Babintsev, pops high in the air off the top of the net, and we get a whistle and a stoppage of play. Oh my, that one nearly, that bounced a good 20 plus feet in the air, nearly bounced in off of Babintsev's mask and into the back of the net. Fortunately for him, it landed on top of the goal, and that caused the whistle to be blown. 4.7 seconds showing on the clock. And I think because the puck went on top of the net, the faceoff will take place at center. So it appears as though both teams will be taking at least a point from this game. And what else is new? All right, so for the fifth time in 7 matchups, these teams are headed to overtime. And for the 7th time in as many matchups, this game will be decided by a single goal. Cats have 37 seconds remaining on their power play, which will be a 4-on-3, sudden death. As soon as that starts, the Wildcats will have a 4-on-3 power play. Personnel will probably be obvious. They will have 37 seconds to try and end the game. If they do not do it then, Marcus Chorney will be let out of the Bulls penalty box and in all likelihood will go right to the bench and be replaced. And the Bulls will get 4 skaters on the ice. It will be a 4-on-4 until the first whistle of overtime following the end of the Wildcats power play is blown, after which the teams will go to a 3-on-3 for the remainder of the sudden death frame, which is 5 minutes long, unless there's another penalty. If there's no goal scored by then, we will head to another shootout, the likes of which the Cats are 1-1 this season. Victory against Shreveport, defeat against Lone Star. We'll be right back. Every single time these teams have gone to overtime this season, the Cats have won. In overtime, one of the best records in the NAHL. They've won so many close games this season, have the Wildcats. They've won more games in overtime than any other team in the league. They've won 8 in extra time. No other team's even won 6. They've lost 3 in extra time. They've lost 1 in a shootout. So many close games this season. Makes for a lot of excitement, anticipation. A lot of nail biters. Nowhere near as many blowouts as we experienced last season. But you know what? Those aren't always as fun. Anyone who claims they don't like overtime hockey, like to have a word with them, call them a liar. So the Cats to the 4-on-3 for 30 seconds. Donahue turns it up ice, gives it to Rosa with speed across the blue line on the right side. We'll dish it to Alexei Poikala, right circle. Now to Waring, deep slot. Back to Poikala, right circle again. Waring wants the return pass, gets it, deals it over to Seamus. Waring wants it from Seamus, gets it from Seamus. Into the right circle again, Poikala. Cats looking for a way to find a lane and pull the trigger. Donahue gives it back. Poikala one times it deflected wide of the net. Now Rosa battles for it in behind as it hops loose over Waring's stick and down. McBay is out of his net to dish it on over safely for Donahue. And Chorney is out of the box where he is replaced, as predicted by Fromberger. Waring has an opening. He's in. He shoots. Pad save. Rebound. Rosa's denied by Nikita Babintsev. Sprawling left pad save. The save of the night by Nikita Babintsev. Now it's Alexei Poikala wheeling and dealing and dishing it to Rosa, who fires off the paddle of Babintsev, and the puck deflects high in the air and out of play. My goodness, what a save by Nikita Babintsev on Nick Rosa, who's been snake bitten tonight. Despite doing all the right things, he's not found a way to put it in the back of the net. He's given his teammates the chance to do so, drawing a couple of penalties and putting the Wildcats to 2 straight power plays in which they would score. Speaking of, the Cats have just dropped power play number 6. They're now 2 for 6 on the night. And now we go to the 3-on-3 officially here. It's Skvortsov, Burnett, and Orgel for the Wildcats. Truscott, Fromberger, and Miknich for the Bulls. Orgel gives it to Skvortsov. Skvortsov gives it to Burnett. Burnett put it in front for Orgel, tipped on net. Big save by Babintsev, rolls out to the slot. Skvortsov will wire it. Stopped by Babintsev again. And he has robbed Skvortsov for the umpteenth time here tonight. Truscott, Bulls started out. Bray Crowder and Phil Fromberger close behind him. The Bulls going with 2 defensemen and a forward. The Cats with 2 forwards and 1 defenseman. Ryan Burnett crisscrosses with Ilya Skvortsov, who gains the blue line, drops it for Orgel on the tape as he weaves in wide down the right side. 3:20 to go in the extra time as Orgel takes it out and gives it up to Ilya Skvortsov at the left point. We put it back behind the Bulls net, intending it to get to Ryan Burnett. It's picked off, and Fromberger jostles it free up to Alex Truscott, who's got a 2-on-2. He's joined by Crowder. He fires, stick save by McBay, who locates it and hangs on. .303 remaining in sudden death. The score does not change in the next 3 minutes and 3 seconds. We'll go to a shootout. In overtime, the Wildcats are 8-3. The Bulls are 1-7. Pretty big discrepancy. And all those points, well, they add up, and that explains both teams' position in the standings. Rosa pickpockets the other number 12, Luke Edgerton, before dealing it back to Seamus Donahue. 2 number 2s, 2 number 12s on the ice right now. Donahue weaves into the high slot, takes his time and fires, missing over top of the net. Now it's picked up by Tilley, who will swing it out to Donahue again. Tilley goes over onto the opposite side, long shot by Seamus into the glove of Babintsev. Despite the screen from Rosa, I think Donahue wanted Rosa's stick to deflect it. Went cleanly all the way through. Babintsev was able to make the glove snag. Cats have dominated the overtime frame thus far, but have nothing to show for it. In the shootout, both teams are 1-1. So those numbers favor the Amarillo Bulls significantly, because the Cats have head and shoulders been the better overtime team this season. Rosa wins the faceoff, tries to put it through the blue paint, spins with it. He falls down, knocked off the puck by Bray Crowder. Seamus Donahue has it, turning at the right point. He slips up. Bray Crowder takes over. He carries behind his own net now. And here comes Stephen Ipre. He's got some wheels. Powers past Stephen Tilley. Slides it through the goal mouth. Donahue picks it up. 2:10 to go in OT. Tilly, the recipient of the pass from Donahue, who rips it over the crossbar. At the right point, Skinner, fresh off a line change, collects it, weaves his way away from Stephen Ipri, drops it for Stephen Tilly. Tilly back to Donahue. Donahue over to Skinner. Left circle, slap pass, side of the net, deflected just wide by Tilly. Tilly picks it back up, gets right back on it. The Bulls are exhausted, can barely skate. Tilly will shoot. Pad save by Babinsav. Now it's Donahue. We'll just pick it up and skate it back into the neutral zone. The Bulls will get 2 of their 3 players changing, but here's Walker behind the defense. He's into the backhand, and it just misses the net. Walker tries to follow up. Skinner goes down. The puck stays out somehow, and the Bulls have just averted a major crisis just then. Unbelievable how that puck stayed out of the net. Babinsav was down, sprawled out. Walker couldn't tuck it into the net. Now here comes Truscott in over the blue line on the Bulls counterattack. Chorney was the trailer. The puck's been tossed back behind the Wildcats goal. Waring to take over with a minute to go in extra time. Waring is joined by both Skinner and Walker. Goes to the former. The latter changes. Burnett to take Walker's place. Chorney. Mikhailian. Again, the Bulls with 2 defensemen out on the ice here. Clearly trying to just hold off the Cats and get to the shootout. Edgerton can't dipsy-doodle his way through Jonathan Waring's stick. Fromberger and Matt Nels, and this is clearly to prevent the Wildcats from scoring an overtime goal. They've got a better chance at defeating the Cats in the shootout than they do in OT. There's no question about it. Waring gets the pass from Burnett. From the right point, Waring gives it over to Nick Rosa. Stutter steps, gets away from Matt Nels. Wheels to the outside, looks for a way to shoot. Nels' stick is right in his face. Powers his way to the goal, does Rosa. Big save. Waring tries to get the loose puck. Jabbed out of there by Matt Nels. And time winds down in OT. This one is going to a shootout, ladies and gentlemen. My goodness, Nikita Babinsav is owed a steak dinner and a half when this game's over. He had to have had at least 8 saves in the 3-on-3, all of which pretty much were grade A plus scoring chances. So many opportunities to end the game. From Walker to Rosa, Tilly, you name it. So many chances just going by the wayside. It's a game of inches. The game can be very good and also very painful at times. And that was a pretty long sequence of painful missed opportunities. But the Wildcats can still win this game in the shootout and snap their 2-game losing skid. The Bulls need these points without question more than the Cats do. This extra point that will come from winning the shootout tonight. And as we mentioned, both teams 1-1 in the shootout this season. And both teams the Cats have faced in the shootout with the top other teams in the division, Shreveport and Lone Star. Losing to Lone Star, defeating Shreveport. In both cases, the goaltenders really stole the show. All in all, in the shootout this season, the Wildcats are just 1 for 8. Ryan Orgel's the only one who scored a shootout goal this season for the Cats. So George McBay making his Wildcats debut. He's had a pretty darn good one, going 40 for 43 between the pipes. Is now responsible for shutting down some of Amarillo's top snipers, and who we can assume to be the league's #1 scorer this season in George Mika. If we don't see him out there, I'll be very surprised. First shooter for the Cats. The Bulls have elected to shoot second. Top of the first inning will be Seamus Donahue kicking things off. Smooth skating, puck handling defenseman. Wildcats co-captain, future Michigan Tech Husky down the left side slowly. Kick fake, goes to the forehand, but Babinsav keeps it out with the blocker. Just barely, nearly crept over the blue line. Donahue with some nice smooth moves. And Babinsav all sprawled out with his right arm, managed to keep it out of the net. And Charlie Singerhouse, who scored on a penalty shot for the Bulls earlier in this game, can score in the shootout. We'll see if he does the same backhand-forehand move on George McBay. Singerhouse between the dots. Into the backhand, slips it through the 5-hole. Singer House is 2 for 2. And now the pressure is all on the Wildcats. And the bull balls come raining down. And CJ Walker gets hit right upside the helmet. And the fans did not understand that bull balls are not supposed to be thrown onto the ice during the shootout. The public address announcer reminding the fans of that right now. CJ Walker will shoot next, but there's been a delay because of the bull balls. I'm not sure what these fans are thinking. The game's not over, and we're in the middle of a shootout. I don't know what they're thinking throwing the bull balls. Bulls have the advantage. 1-0. CJ Walker can erase that advantage that the Bulls have. And the young little bull ball crew did a really great job, a fast, efficient job of cleaning up the bull balls that were thrown onto the ice. CJ Walker, some of the best hands in the business. 17-year-old rookie from Boise, Idaho. Future Minnesota State Maverick has a goal tonight, right down the middle. CJ Walker, backhand, misses the net. And gets tripped up and goes tumbling into the end wall. And George Mika, the best scorer in the NAHL this season with 50 points and 23 goals, can end the game for the Amarillo Bulls. George Mika down the left side against George McBay. Fires, McBay robs him. Point blank. No nonsense there by George McBay. Just tried to power it through with a heavy wrist shot. Had to sneak it through the equipment of George McBay. And now all the hopes rest on the shoulders of Stephen Tilley, who must score to prolong this shootout. Stephen Tilley in very slowly against Babintsev. A lot of stick handling. Shoots, Babintsev, the save. And the Amarillo Bulls have won. And that is a very bitter pill to swallow. The Wildcats absolutely dominated the Amarillo Bulls in the 3-on-3 overtime. And you could tell what the Bulls were trying to do. They knew that they were completely outmatched and were being outskated thoroughly. The Wildcats, a better conditioned team with more depth and more speed. The Bulls were just trying to do everything they could to fight them off and to prolong the game as long as they could, to get it to a shootout, a skills competition, which is in no way really indicative of the team's, their team play, I guess you could say. And it was smart. You got to give the Bulls credit. They knew they were in dire straits in that situation. They just held off the Wildcats as long as they could. But Babintsev might have earned himself a #1 star of the game performance with the night that he had. I think the South Division is in good hands at the Top Prospects tournament with that guy in net. So a heartbreaker here at the Amarillo Civic Center, 4-3 final in favor of the Amarillo Bulls. We'll bring you our post-game show in just a few minutes. First, I got to do some updating, get the graphic ready for Facebook and Twitter. We'll be back in a few for our third star of the game selection from the Wildcats' point of view. And to break down this game for you in greater detail, go around the league one last time, the South Division at least, and let you be on your way. Stay tuned, folks. We'll be right back. The disappointing finish to a very good hockey game tonight, folks. Unfortunately, George McBay making his Wildcats debut tonight, playing his heart out, trying to get the win for the Wildcats, playing in his very first game. Had a pretty darn good one. Not much to complain about from George McBay. Kind of got hung out to dry a little bit on a couple of Bulls goals. Actually, come to think of it, really all of them. I wouldn't pin a single one of Amarillo's goals tonight on George McBay. The first one was scored off of a penalty shot by Charlie Singerhouse, which obviously is no fault to George McBay. He did all he could to stop it. The second was off of a really bad Wildcats turnover in the defensive zone. It was just a really quick bang-bang play that developed right in front of him. He had really no time to get himself ready or to get himself situated and get himself into position. That happened so quickly, and it was the fault of the defense for turning the puck over right in front of him. And then the third goal that the Bulls scored came off a really fluky play in which it looked like Tyler Micknich threw his stick at Jonathan Waring, causing the Wildcats defenseman to kind of become rattled from it. Donahue and Waring were both thrown off. Donahue, his spacing wasn't quite right like it normally is, and Cole Lucier had all kinds of room to just cut in and fire. He did from the right circle, beat George McBay cleanly through the 5-hole. If there's one goal maybe McBay would like to have back, it'd probably be that one, but even that I would not pin on McBay, folks. That was just too much room, too close and tight for my liking. Not very good spacing by Seamus Donahue, but again, the whole thing happened because of a really weird play in the neutral zone where the puck kind of was flung at Jonathan Waring, kind of throwing everybody off. Sorry for the long delay. Had a lot of loose ends to tie up here at the ACC. We're going to try to get the YouTube issues fixed for tomorrow night. Spoke with a few folks here at the ACC about it. They think we should be able to get it worked out. There's a phone jack right here. Just got to find a cable to plug into it, and hopefully it runs more smoothly tomorrow. We apologize for the inconvenience, and thank you, folks, for sticking by. 4-3 the final, a heartbreaking defeat here at the Amarillo Civic Center. Very well-played game by George McBay, who we've given the Kona Ice third star of the game. The second star, we feel, belongs to Amarillo's goaltender, who just also had a really strong game. Anytime the game goes to overtime, and then all the way from overtime to a shootout, the reason that it doesn't end in overtime when there's so much open ice and so many skilled skaters on the ice who can put the puck away, the reason it didn't end was because both goaltenders were on their game, especially Babintsev in the overtime. He was a lot more busy than McBay was. On the 3-on-3 and the 4-on-3 power play, the brief 4-on-3 power play the Cats had, they had so many chances. 3 chances immediately come to mind when I think of times the game should have been over, period. Stephen Tilley deflecting a shot pass wide of the net by a matter of inches. Nick Rosa driving to the front, nearly tucking it in, uncontested. Couldn't bank it past Babintsev. And then another that comes to mind, speaking of Rosa, was the second pad save he made off the first shot. Gave a pretty big rebound out to Rosa. Not the best of rebound control, but excellent recovery with the left pad to rob Nick Rosa of putting the game away in overtime. And then there was the C.J. Walker opportunity where he went onto his backhand and looked like he should have been able to tuck it home, and somehow, miraculously, it stayed out of the net. Some of the things Babintsev was doing tonight, folks, I have no idea how. Look for him to probably start tomorrow with the game he had. And Charlie Singerhouse has to be the first star of the game. He scored the game-winning goal in the shootout. He also opened the scoring for the Bulls on that penalty shot, going 2 for 2 in that type of scenario tonight. And looks like the Bulls have a shootout specialist I wasn't aware about. Teams don't go to shootouts very often now with the 3-on-3 being so fast-paced and typically ending games. Both teams have only gone to shootouts now after this has been done 3 times total, or 3 times each rather, all season. The Bulls improving to 2 for 1 in the shootout, the Cats to 1 for 2. So again, 4-3 was the final. We'll wrap it up real quick. What happened? It started out just a minute and 13 seconds in off a goal scored by Isaac Cabinha, his first goal in 4 months. Was a big one to get the ball rolling for the Cats. Answered by Charlie Singerhouse on a Wildcats power play in which he stole the puck off the pass from, I believe, Skvortsov. Maybe it was Donahue, reading it, intercepting it, getting past Waring, who was the intended recipient of the pass from Skvortsov or Donahue. Can't remember who it was who passed it. But Singerhouse charged right down Main Street, had a breakaway on George McBay. Waring did not like the looks of that. He did all he could to impede Singerhouse's progress, did a good job, but unfortunately got too much of him according to the referee, so a penalty shot was deemed worthy. Charlie Singerhouse would put the puck past McBay on a handful of smooth, poised moves to give the Bulls the tie, 1-1, 14:40 into the first period. Burnett would answer less than 4 minutes later on the Wildcats' power play to give the Cats a 2-1 lead. Truscott and Cole Lucier would score within 2.5 minutes of each other starting in period 2, both of which came off of Wildcats' turnovers, the first in the defensive zone, the next in the neutral zone. So 2 goals very quickly to spark some life into this building and give the Bulls their first lead of the night, and the Cats would find themselves trying to claw back into it. Fortunately, they would. C.J. Walker tied it on a Wildcats power play, which was pretty much red hot all night long. It's probably even better than its 2 for 6 result would indicate, but nevertheless, a good showing on special teams all night. Did not allow a power play goal, and the Bulls have the 3rd best power play in the league, so that's an accomplishment. Going 5 for 5 on the PK tonight were the Cats, so a lot of promising things to take from the game. A lot of silver lining came in tonight's defeat, that's for sure. And again, the game was ended by Charlie Singerhouse in the shootout, the only player to score. Seamus Donahue, C.J. Walker, and Stephen Tilley were all shut down by Nikita Babintsev for the Wildcats. So again, the Bulls escape with a 4-3 victory in the shootout. These teams will meet tomorrow night. The Cats take a point. The Bulls take 2 from this game. Let's take a look around the rest of the South Division before we let you get going and enjoy what's left of your Friday. Out in Corpus Christi, or down in Corpus Christi, 5-2 is the final. The Jacks would not score again after the first period, and Corpus taking the decisive 5-2 victory. So look out, folks. They are on a tear, and they are quietly creeping up to the Shreveport Mudbugs and the Wildcats. As a matter of fact, in the South Division, the Brahmas would never recover. Shreveport would win, 3-1 the final, so the Mudbugs continue to creep up on the Cats for second place. The two teams hatching it out for second place in the South. The Brahmas look like they've got first place on lock. And then the Topeka Roadrunners played tonight, hosting the Springfield Junior Blues, defeating them by a final of 4-3. We're going to let you get going, folks. Thanks for sticking around. We really had fun tonight. It was a heck of a game. Unfortunately, the result was not what you Wildcats fans were hoping for, but we hope you enjoyed the broadcast in spite of the outcome. And once more, the Bulls with 4, the Cats with 3, the game ending in the shootout off of a Charlie Singerhouse goal. We'll be right back here tomorrow night. Same time, same place. Puck drops expected to drop at least at 7:05 p.m. Central Time here at the Bullpen. Hope to have you with us on Hockey TV and what we can expect to be a much smoother YouTube broadcast tomorrow night. Till then, so long, everyone. Thanks for joining us. We hope to hear from you tomorrow. Have a great rest of your Friday, and we'll talk to you then.